Right, Ujai, Ujai. Hello, good evening from NFM Radio. Mansa Musa here. I am ready to rock and roll. I hope you are as well. Right, so once again, I welcome you to NFM Radio, another beautiful, beautiful Saturday evening. Mansa Musa is ready to rock and roll. I hope everyone, each and every one of you is ready for tonight's show. Right, tonight as advertised, not quite long ago, Mr. Asidun Ketia came out to read what he terms, or the NDC wants everyone to know or notice, or as the true state of the national, the true state of the nation's address. So he came in to give us the nation's address. And today, this weekend, tonight, we are going to delve into it and find out exactly what the whole thing is about. To me, with me to help me with this discussion will be Mr. Kusiakwa. He is a chairman of the Sheffield branch of NDC. And so, when the time comes at 8 p.m., he'll be here to help us to, delve into all that. For now, though, I want us to, begin discussion about what I term the biggest betrayal, the betrayal of the century by some members of the NDC parliamentary group. They have messed so many things up. Now, though, let's go for a recap of our sponsors' message, which is Top 10.
Say dear, yenam top connect so emanisika de bagana if we yasia fanani na yenchia kapre. Ane aye free. Top connect amasika mani ayem rekra. Ye uhiane sa uba download it with Top Connect app no ewo Play Store. Diama wo Android phone. And as we use iPhone so ko Apple Store na download the Top Connect. Aye simple cra. Top Connect wa member radio num so wo Europe, North America and Asia. Umane wo dofu sika fa Top Connect so aye ntem na emre. Nemma wa hoto swonso. Sese die sika manye di fufuro kra any Top Connect. So we yan chechemu bia. For Top Connect our plus 442 081 6155 and a plus 442 081 761 600 plus 447 882 950 088 and nasa hwehwe Top Connect our barefoot intefidie nyina so. Top Connect Fesika mane wa dofo asumjemu a untia kapre. Top Connect yensu ye die.
Wana mutanen NDC da ke United Kingdom da Ireland chapter ina roƙon ku har wa yau ku vote ku ba chairman Akwa shi kada ne wanda in Allah ya yarda ya win ya zama chairman zai kawo welfare program da zai taimaka muku ya taimaka ma party mu. Daga cikin wannan welfare program dukkan member da ke neman taimako lokacin da ya shiga cikin masuwa abin da ya kama daga 50 pounds zuwa 400 pounds welfare program na ya tabbatar a baka a taimaka maka in Allah ya maka dalili ka biya wannan kudi. Bayan haka kuma dukkan memba da ke neman wani taimako sha'anin batun takardun shi ko wurin zama ya ajiye manya da lauyoyi da kowane lokaci kake neman advice ko kake neman wani lawyer da zai taimaka maka akan batun sha'anin zamanka a ƙasar United Kingdom shi kuma su bi bayan ka su taimaka maka su saya maka ka biya wani abu kadan da yake in ka je waje zaka doki lawyer ba da ka same shi haka nan ba. Muna rokonka member NDC da ke United Kingdom ko Ireland in lokacin vote ya kai ka vote ka ba Chairman Akwa, shi kare ne wanda yake zai taimaka ma fatin mu a lokacin ga da muke ciki. Wannan shine sanarwa ko wannan shine abin da muke roko, ku taimaka mishi, Allah kuma ya taimaka mu duka gaba daya, Allah ba mu nasara. Mun gode muku da kuka saurare mu. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi ta'ala wa barakatuh.
As chairman for UK and Ireland chapter, oh you need papa, oh you need a money who doctor, Joanne, lawyer, Betwaman. I will vote for doctor. I want a takra, the money who you fair. A takra bonus, so dear young boy. Baby, I'm a coya, ready ever to a papa. Dr. Joe Ajimai, a one no one I want a takra, the money we have fair. Sakra money, so dear young boy. To a baby, I'm a young one, so ready ever to a papa. Dr. Joe Ajimai, on no one Dr. George Masi, on no day of a say. NDC Kwa, UK Island, the beginning of diaspora. Ayakra Beshati, Montumanue, Dr. Joanne, but the Campo Muba, I'm a mebu. The Campo Muba is a papa, but the Campo Muba, my medina. Yeah, ready, now, I'm speaking on behalf of Dr. Joe Ajimai. When in my papa, Dr. I could see a person or the boy. Never party no need for any shit. Oh, yeah, on my papa or Guinea home. My two abanman. Dr. Joe Ajimai said, Obey me kiss yourself. Party in the Benyan own office. Now, meetings I would do you now. Raise the fund. Sikabotu I move on the executive members, any departmentals, and some are doctor and preachers or the one at those. So I will vote for him. Go and vote for him. Dr. Joe Ajimai on one I pay.
Listen to Fire Will Burn You on NFM Radio with Mansa Musa, Monday to Saturday, 7 p.m. to 10 p.m. NFM Radio. NFM Radio. Emu daho. NFM Radio, emu daho. Minia, tie fire will burn you. NFM Radio. Jumedia Mansa Musa ede bro. Juada kopem memneda. Enumre non song. Ekopem non do. Listen to Fire Will Burn You on NFM Radio with Mansa Musa Monday to Saturday, 7 p.m. to 10 p.m. NFM Radio. NFM Radio. Emu daho. NFM Radio. Emu daho. NFM Radio. Emu daho. Minia, tie fire will burn you. NFM Radio. Jumedia Mansa Musa ede bro. Juada kopem memneda. Enumre non song. Ekopem non do.
So tell a friend to tell everybody that Mansa Musa is ready. I am ready to rock. I'm rocking and I'm rolling. Tonight, like I say, we have a discussion on the real state of the nation address delivered by the NDC chairman, that is Mr. Esiedun Ketia. He presented what he calls the true state of the nation's address recently, and with me tonight to discuss all those will be Mr. Kwesi Akwa. When the time comes when everything is ready, I will get him here for him to come and help us to discuss everything as it is. Okay, thank you very much. So please don't go anywhere. Stay with me and make sure you can join us. You can join in to discuss everything and anything. That is okay. All right. Thank you. Okay. That is a promise that don't stay away from this channel. Stay here, and we have a lot to discuss. Before 8 o'clock, though, we have the Mansa Musa monologue. That will be from 7:30. So let's go for this message by some individuals who are losing their money to the government, their messages to President Akufo-Addo?
Makotena awonu Holland akọ sam mfifire sika kakra minyaye no me de aba mia me maimu Ghana de aba beto registered bank JN bank yi President Nanado Uber TV so be kachire Ghana for say JN bank anye n'adwuma yi ti waje bank ne licenses no wo de customers ni sika be mo 3 years muni mensanka emisika sika kakra ka ye no so 550 million. Media kwa koto commercial bank. Na midi minise commercial bank de midi misika koto ho a save. President Nanado enam IMF bosiana wo kwa akoboni nti. Osimi misika 550 million na odi akwa akoye adwuma nya interest wo so no. Once the korano omfa mame. Misika trene no so. Ose omfa mame. Jese 2024 na sika no interest ketewa no a menya no obema me mu 5%. Menya adwuma wo Ghana. Mintimi so enko Holland se me koye adwuma. Mimfi akọ animu kakra. Kwan ben so na mefa so a me ne meyire ne memba yibedidi. Mr. President, mesrɛ se me ma se me be street scarefree ho. Mia me sika makosam mfifire enya no. Mesrɛ se obema mensa aka. Obi bia obi tie saa me audio me recording yi bi no. Mesrɛ se mode beto mo platform so. Ebetimi afa so ma President Nanado nensa aka wenyama sem yi bi etie. Ghana mpanyinfo mesrɛ so se mo ne President Nanado be kasa ama me. Medamase.
Good morning, President Nanado Adankwa Akufo-Addo. I'm paying me bano boko. Midin the ASP retired Franklin Nati. Mesun Ghana ewo police mu 24 plus years. Na me gratuity mensan kano me di top bond 2 years. Aka 1 year this year, September. Aye 2023. Na mi bond no amateur. Wu adwina wo di ba ye say wakoboka ana wa bugana abofom enti me bra ma bre sika medi to bond no commercial bank no onfa mame we enye am robber ene ebe chimidi misika o oman panyi a ya to abama no se onhwe yeso emra wo fru plane 18,000 pounds an hour nkrofo kachreo wante emra wo fa so many ministers se omunu na oni omu betumi aye adwuma nkrofo kachreo wante ene your incompetence inti me bre amabre me disika yedi tua me ka se gratuity me fa hwe me ho so no o si wafa this is 2033 se mi manu na o pese o mu beji sika na me na no mu a menim president woni die mu o Israel unua na ni bank edi enim eji loans no mfaso a wanya no misrew mano fa nsa mfaso no ekutu yesika no mesika no mfa mame Nanado utrimu yedin papa obi a maye juma Ghana mra kire se 24 years plus no yentua meka as a retired officer no usi wuntua meka me nya 60 years ye Nanado, Minister Mibisa, have you been a civil servant in Ghana before? Have you worked as a civil servant? Please, Nanado, mimpese mbe kasatia o. Mimpese mbe dumi usu eni ubusia debi. Midi yao esreo. Tise se na Mr. Matheson. Efri sunyani esreo no. Jai misika mami. Midin di ASP Franklin Kwesi Nate. Mi tome bon wo commercial bank. It was Accra North branch. Please, I beg you, in the name of God, don't touch my money. Don't touch my money. Don't touch my money. Anybody who receives this, please send it to as many platforms for Nana Adodankwa Akufo-Addo to see, to hear, and to see. Or his cousin Ken Oforiatta should hear. Please, 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 Nanado, I'm not supposed to beg you. Because when you were begging that you should be tried, I remember traveling from Kumasi to Koforidua to vote for you 2016, thinking you are bringing something on board. I regretted it. I have regretted all my life. Some friends told me, Anka unya accident or question na uya. Well, Nanado, please, whoever received this message, forward it to as many platforms. Let Nanado hear me and ensure I have my money. Thank you.
NFM Radio. NFM Radio. Emu daho.
Sir Akufo-Addo, I'm telling you, I'm looking into the camera and telling you, say you are the joke of the century. You are the joke of the century. And sit that. Say you be via or buy, say you see a trap by a VM. And see, you are the joke. It is a me case is via. Say, and then Akufo-Addo can sign down. Or prepare one more electoral commissioner. Offer the year and the deputy. Offer a Gabi as a Rotelacon. And so, no offer Professor Timedia to you. Uncle Femi, Professor Timedia to you. One funny person, our young one bush are falling a young for no form of electoral commission or Abna Kofi Young Abna on so many now from Kubu. Abaya between MPP being on my way above. Obi anyone who can have one, who MPP said, and now MPP. Okofa Yesu Christo, Kofa Muhammad, Komsani Muhammad Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam. Ebet now said, Yesu and a flag bearer, Komsani Muhammad and a running mate, Yantuaba in the name of MPP. Omubari Poto for the first time in the history, Yesu named Muhammad Berry. Was Yandia, Yantiasu Premi. Atiti ni wa how dia benedia Akufo-Addo diakomuno. May catch him. He will be the best of the joke of this century. He should dare. And he bra Yadiba Tuabano.
NFM Radio. Emu daho.
Electoral commissioner. Chabani ever to no police station. I never got to electoral commission.
Ever to no police station.
You and your dear. Omo pa. Omo tintin Ghana fonsa. Ni ebedru ho. Na da ebedru ho no. And Obemu say Viaseno says be uto mekwa, uto udokna, ye disito.
NFM Radio. NFM Radio. Emu daho.
Well, no. I am not getting into all those things. But, you know, it is failing. And you people should be asking them why they are failing. If you are giving a chance to govern, and you fail, don't expect to continue to govern. And that's not just for the new petroleum party, it's for every political party. We don't, democracy is not just about elections. You elect so that people can govern, so that they can improve the people's welfare. But if you've been an abject failure, where we have a situation where, quote unquote, the fundamentals have all gone wrong, why would you actually be wasting so much time talking about beyond or breaking the age? You have not achieved your task, and the failure to achieve your task is enough to jettison you from office.
You think the finance minister should?
Well, no. I am not getting into all those things, but it is failing, and you people should be asking them why they are failing.
NFM Radio, emu daho. 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 Minia, see fire will burn you. I want NFM Radio. Jumedia Mansa Musa ede bro. Ejwada kopem memneda. Enumre non song. Ekopem non do. Listen to Fire Will Burn You on NFM Radio with Mansa Musa Monday to Saturday, 7 p.m. to 10 p.m. NFM Radio, emu daho. NFM Radio, emu daho.
Right, so you are all welcome once again to NFM Radio. I'm welcoming you here because tonight is the night. It's now 1935. I'm not talking about the year or the date. I'm talking about the time. So it's 7:35 here in the UK. I am quite sure it's the same time in Ghana. Apparently tomorrow, I think tonight or tomorrow morning from about 1 p.m. or is it from 12 p.m.? I don't know. The time in London will go 1 full hour ahead. So from tomorrow or Monday, I wouldn't be able to say it's the same time. I'll be making a mistake. See what I mean? The time will move forward. Anyway, for now, we are here and now. And what we got to do is to present my monologue, as they say. Okay, thank you. Okay. I'll have to present my monologue for tonight. And the monologue is all about, okay. Mamimbo Kakra, okay.
NFM Radio, emu daho. NFM Radio, emu daho. NFM Radio, emu daho. NFM Radio, emu daho.
Right, I'll say NFM Radio no emu daho. And it's the same in Chia no. Obana pese uchia mi a Ghana for pechi chia. And ma pe enchia. Unya team NFM Radio na majiso emu daho. And as a maker NFM Radio usi emu daho. That is the greetings from Mansa Musa. That was open here. Voila. This one they call it Fire Will Burn You.
Minia, see fire will burn you. NFM Radio. Jumedia Mansa Musa Ede Bro. Edwada Copem Memneda. And Ren on song. Ecopem known to.
Now, Bronini says they.
Listen to Fire Will Burn You on NFM Radio with Mansa Musa Monday to Saturday, 7 p.m. to 10 p.m.
Now, me auntie back on the
NFM Radio, Emudaho. NFM Radio, Emudaho. NFM Radio, Emudaho. Say dear, yenam top connect so e mani sika de bagana if we wiase afana nyina yenchia kapre. Ane aye free. Top connect amasika mani aye mrekra. Ye wohia ne se wo be download wo top connect app no e wo Play Store. Diama wo Android phone. Ana se wo use iPhone so a ko Apple Store na download the top connect. Aye simple kra. Top connect wa manda bredu num so wo Europe, North America and Asia. Wo mane wo dofu sika fa top connect so a aye ntem na Nemma wa hoto so sese die sika manye di foforo kra any top connect so we hia chechemu bia free top connect e wo +442 081 6155 and a +442 081 761 600 +447 882 950 088 and nasa hwehwe top connect e wa barefont interfidie nyina so top connect Fesika mane wa dofo asumjemu a unchia kapre top connect yensu ye dienie.
Right, mamu nyina akwa about top connect so yeah, the battle okay top connect for the sponsor Mansa Musa ewo Fire Will Burn You program so top connect now when you about this
NFM Radio Emudaho
you never what's the
NFM Radio Emudaho
okay inti mu nyina mate say NFM Radio no emudi daho kiri yin krudo ti say dia Moses okofa ako epokoko no so na okoye na pokoko no ayi puha na approve ayi jufo so eduedu apro wonche wonti eja to mu ahwem ayi tum and the pokoko na right call. You see what I mean? It would what is all man buying? Anyway, so that is what it is. At exactly 8 p.m. I will we are going to have a nice, beautiful discussion. We are going to talk about the true sonar as delivered by Ochiamihini, the chairman general himself, Sidin Katia recently. So tell a friend to tell a friend to tell a friend. I know you NDC people, you are not very happy with yourself, but at least this one is something we can all discuss and learn something, take something from it. All the messages for your campaign, it's all within that narrative or that what do we call it, statement that Asidun Katia presented. So it is very valuable. So don't shy away from it. Come and let's all discuss it from 8 o'clock.
NFM Radio, Emudaho.
But from now, though, let me do a little bit of my own monologue. And tonight, the monologue is about what I say or call the betrayal of the century. Why do I say the betrayal of the century? It is because this one, it is more painful than the previous ones. For an opposition in a country, opposition party who is gearing up, we have been told, or the party that wants to win power, that they are so eager. People will even say they are so desperate to win power. When the opportunity presents itself to, put some more pressure on the government, I have followed so many political scenes, so many political, run-ins here and there in so many countries. And I haven't come across an opposition, I'm not saying all the members or the individuals, but as a group, an opposition which is so ineffective, and some might even say as useless as that NDC. Don't get me wrong, I'm not saying individually or as, there's nothing personal in this, my statement. Individually, all of them or most of them are very respectful, respectable, and they are they are trustworthy. But as a group, the NDC has time and time again proven to be very ineffective. For an opposition party that wants the power to govern, let me repeat, I say, when or if the opportunity presents itself, the opportunity is that the government of Ghana, the executives, or led by Akufo-Addo, is in such a situation that when you are in opposition, you have to keep the pressure mounting. You do not give, release the pressure or give the ruling party any breathing space. You create, even sometimes create the condition for them, quote unquote, to suffer without actually doing anything silly, or let's say causing any mayhem, or how do I put it, damages or destruction. No. But you can still put the pressure, make sure the pressure mounts. So for the opportunity for the NDC, at least for once, to demonstrate, so that Ghanaians will say, this time around they mean business. That opportunity has been and gone, and the NDC has been found wanting once again. So when you calculate and you put all together, you understand why I'm saying that it is the betrayal of the century. Last night, I was sitting here minding my business behind this console and this microphone when people started sending me messages. One just, sent me an audio. The audio isn't very clear, otherwise I would have played, and he was like crying. Oh, Musa, I think you have to write something very hard on this, our people. So I sent him a message. I typed, what our people, what is happening? Then he sent me the response. I replied, the NDC MPs, they have done it again. I said, what? So that is when I went on the internet, went to Ghana Web and other places to see what has or had happened. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm saying it again. When, as an opposition party, when the opportunity comes for you to put pressure on the government that you want to overtake or to remove, the government that you want to replace, you do not in any way, that's what politics is. If you are soft enough to think that we want the country to move ahead, and then you are not, what I would say, you don't belong. You don't belong to that profession when you are not, how do I say, when you cannot hold yourself together and make sure you put pressure on your government or your opponent. When the opportunity has given himself up or given himself to you, you don't throw it away. NDC for. What has happened, what happened last night in Ghana's parliament? What exactly, those people, 30 or more, 37 or 36, how many people voted to make sure all the nominees have passed through? What exactly are your intentions? What exactly are you telling everyone? I mean, what do you want to gain? What is it? Because so many people are saying, you see, previously, anytime we complain, they say, our numbers doesn't add up. I mean, it doesn't add up. We are fewer. So in any case, they will pass them anyway. Fine. Let them pass them. But the records will show that you didn't like certain, you voted against certain rules or certain policies and the rest. Today, I got this audio message. One woman was ranting seriously, and what she said made a lot of sense. He said, these MPs have sat down for Akufo-Addo to borrow almost $140 billion. And the woman was asking, how much do you think Dubai and other places, how much money do you think they started, developing their country with? Dubai and the places they started developing their country not with 140 billion. Maybe they started with 5 billion, with 10 billion, with 15 billion, and that sort of. Akufo-Addo have had over 100 billion in 6 and something months, 6 years and counting. And Ghana is still like this. The NDC MPP sat in to allow, to vote for all the time Akufo-Addo to borrow such huge sums of money and share it to his people, making Ghana bankrupt, saddling the country with debt. And whenever the time comes for you, the NDC parliamentarians, to show your mettle, to prove your worth, to tell all and sundry that you are here and you ain't going anywhere, that you are strong enough, you are clever enough, you fail once again. Because I'm saying the whole NDC is because, you see, the consequences of that few people have resulted in NDC failing their own grassroots and many, many neutral Ghanaians once again. I don't want to be tribalistic. I'm not going to say, those people from here, from north, from south. No. The fact is, all these people, these NDC MPs, are supposed to be educated. They are supposed to be, what do we call it, very sound, brainy people. So when you come to tell, or your party come to tell Ghanaians that, look, what Akufo-Addo wants to bring or do, it is not good enough for Ghanaians, or it is not good for our people. It's not good for the economy. So we are going to reject it. Even if your decision is purely political, so what is wrong with that for you to go as a group? This is serious. I mean, if the NDC hierarchy if they will not take action, it's not a matter of fight or anything. No. Just tell those people they don't belong and that they should go and join where they think they belong. It's as simple as that. Because you can't decide to betray the group the club you are joining, you are with the club. You can't decide to betray them and say, I'm still here. No, it's never done anywhere. This one is not about apologizing or we are begging. No. If the NDC hierarchy sit down for this to fester, you people, I don't know, because the point is, until some people, the grassroots, gets to know that what they are dying for, what they are risking their lives for, is worth actually risking your life for, until that belief sinks in, until people can be convinced that the effort you are making, it will not be in vain. Until we can demonstrate that, the NDC people can demonstrate that, people's doubts are growing. The grassroots, their doubts very much growing. What got to happen is for Sedun Ketia, John Dramani Mahama himself, your Council of State, or those people, the top old men and women, all of them to come together and ask, people should be bold, find out who voted for who and why, and tell them, look, this is not a final warning or anything. This matter is now serious, and that it's not that you are sacking them. They themselves should go. Because if something better is somewhere else, go and join them. Leave the party for those who want to, work with the party. Leave the party for those who want to be in the party. This insubordination, in my day, you will be called and shot. This insubordination is called mutiny in the army. And mutiny, it can end your life. Nobody anywhere should take this lightly at all. These people who voted against the wishes, the party whip, the party's decisions, these people want to tell the party that they are better off and they are better with somebody else. If NDC didn't, as a party, did not tell it straight and blank, did not come out to say that we are against this and we are going to reject it. If the party didn't state its position, then we can assume that, okay, the members of the parliament, maybe, okay, they thought business as usual. But here is the case. The party stated its position. The party told the whole of Ghana that Akufo-Addo's nomination is not necessary. We still have enough people in those ministries for one to head without bringing more people in. So when the party has made its stance and you don't agree with the party, you raise your hand and tell the party you don't agree. Maybe they will say, then leave. But when you keep quiet and the voting time comes, you sabotage your own party, goodness me, you do not belong anymore. And I want the NDC hierarchy to listen and listen carefully, that their soul, their own heart, the engine, whatever works for the party, if they don't take steps to address this situation properly, whatever works within the NDC will, as they say, unwork very soon. It will lose its potency. It will lose its power. A party that wants to win power with such people in their midst, it started long ago when, what do we call it, the former chairman, Ufosu Ampof, said something secretly at the head office. Before we see them, people had a recording. If you have such people among you, I mean, that is a long time ago. So much so that now you within the party, everybody is looking over his shoulders. Is that how it should be? Come on, who born dog? To make a Kufuor, you people are making a Kufuor so powerful. Because he knows some of you are greedy bastards. Some of you are useless. You are traitors. He knows he can use money to buy some of you, or more, all of you, or most of you. Bastards. Greedy, dirty, smelly bastards. Some of you, the NDC people. And this cancer, this canker, this disease is festering, is going, permeating into all of your, everywhere, including the UK here. Greedy bastards. Want me to repeat it? Greedy bastards. People with greedy attitude, dirty attitude. Musuban ye dang. Na mu bebre so mo hu nye fe, mo hu wa dang. Mo mu bebre mo tumi nka brofo nsere me. Nso mo anu gbegbegbegbegbegbe. Mo ye horrible. To make your Akufo-Addo so powerful to the disadvantage of your own party. With Jimmy Papa. With Jimmy Papa. Me say, to make Akufo-Addo more powerful than your own NDC. With Jimmy Papa. The top hierarchy of NDC should take action. Tell these people who voted to make Akufo-Addo powerful that they are not needed, not by anyone at all in the party, and that they themselves, they should move on, they should go. I mean, when something tibia, they should go. If they like, they should go and stand as independent. If they like, they should go and join PP, join CPP, or stand as independent. Because with these people, you don't need enemies more. With such, you don't need anybody to tell you you have enemies. About 8 o'clock, me rant, no, me besi ha. Now, ya toward the rest of the program, so. I mean, ya do Monday. Ye be rante, and ya ye monologue, no, ye be yen bebre more.
NFM Radio, emu daho. Listen to Fire Will Burn You on NFM Radio with Mansa Musa, Monday to Saturday, 7 p.m. to 10 p.m. NFM Radio, emu daho. See Fire Will Burn You. NFM Radio. Jumedia Mansa Musa Ede Bro. Edwada Kopem Memneda. And Renon Song. Ekopem Non Do. NFM Radio. Emu Daho. NFM Radio.
Right. So then, NFM Radio also Emu Edaho. Now, we've gone to this stage where we are going to listen to this one. Have a listen.
which was an IMF bailout precondition. The president refuses to cut down the size of his bloated government. Human rights violations are on the ascendancy, with the recent condemnable killing of a soldier and the unfortunate brutalities in Ashaman, all of which President Akufo-Addo, as Commander-in-Chief of the Ghana Armed Forces, refused to speak about. We have a visionless, reckless, clueless, and wasteful government that has become impervious to advice and will attack anyone who dares to advise them, including members of the diplomatic community. We have a president who desecrates the holy name of God by claiming to be building a cathedral to honor God, only to engage in dishonorable acts of diversion, corruption, inflationary pricing, and conflict of interest, which has earned Ghana the dubious reputation of digging the world's most expensive pit, worth over 58 million United States dollars. My brothers and sisters, we are all living the reality of the worst economic crisis in our nation's history, and there can be no denying of this. The president's address only served to deepen the anxiety, hopelessness, and uncertainty about the future of our country. It was all too clear that this government is grappling with the extent of the crisis they have created, let alone figure out what to do to bring us out of the mess. President Akufo-Addo failed to convince the Ghanaian people that there is any end in sight to the suffering and pain that his government's recklessness and misguided policies have brought on us. In the end, he cut an image of a leader who is hopelessly out of touch with the reality and genuine difficulties of his people. A president who believes that burying himself in a delusional bubble will make the problems vanish. Even worse was the continuation of the discredited attempt to evade responsibility for the economic atrocities that have led us to this depressing point. While they engage in vain glory, Ghanaians have to deal with the daily consequences of a collapsed economy. And brothers and sisters, the true state of our nation is well known to all of us. As the legendary Bob Marley noted in one of his songs, he who feels it knows it best. There has, however, been an effort by this administration to falsify the causes of the disaster we face while fleeing from responsibility. We in the NDC, the only viable alternative to this government, deem it necessary to straighten the records and expose the untruths presented to the nation through Parliament by President Akufo-Addo, and to highlight that our desired state is self-inflicted and deliberately so by this government. We are certain in our minds and believe same to be true for all objective.
Right. So this is exactly what is going to happen from now till the end of the show. What we have been listening to was the statement by the chairman of NDC in Ghana, Mr. Esiedun Ketia. They call him the chairman general. He has delivered what the NDC tells us is the true state of the nation. And that is the true address. What is the acronym? That is what is SONA, S-O-N-A, State of Nations Address. Remember, previously, about a week or so after the president has given his SONA, Mr. Esiedun Ketia has come in to deliver what the NDC says is the proper, legitimate. One second. Okay. The proper state of the nation address. Tonight, I won't be here alone ranting because this is not my monologue. This is a special program which was sponsored, actually programmed and presented and being sponsored by one of the candidates for the chairman position or chairmanship position of the UK Ireland chapter NDC. He is Chairman Aqua, they call him affectionately Francis Aqua of Sheffield. He personally and his group, campaign group, I'm told, have decided to sponsor this program. So like I said, even though most of you, the NDC guys, are hurting due to certain development, unexpected ones, this, I think, should come as a refresher. This particular program should come as, something, an interlude to, to soften the painful sort of blow, metaphorically, that you received since last night. I have to say, I am very happy indeed, because as I was just starting to speak to you guys, I've got Mr. Kwesi Aqua on the line. So let me greet him and we'll be kind. The salutations, we take it out of there. Mr. Kwesi Aqua.
NFM, Emudaho.
Debi Yenchia. NFM. Let me imagine. NFM. Emudaho. Good. Kwesi. NFM.
Emudaho.
Very good. Right. So, question you mean thank you anyway. I have to say that you came out with this idea, and you and your people are sponsoring the time from now till 10 o'clock that this program is going to run. Mr. Esiedun Ketia's what we call statement or his address, around 57 minutes, so about 1 hour. So the 2 hours, I think you have agreed that others can join in anytime, call the studio numbers and give your contribution, your thoughts, or anything, your opinion, or even if you are against, you think you are NPP and you think Esiedun Ketia is just mischievous, you can ring in and let us know. Kwesi, anyway, so why do you want us to do this today?
Yeah, Mansa Musa, thank you so much. I would like to say a big thank you to you and your station. And I would like to say special greetings to our listeners who are listening to us and all NBC comrades. Musa, me and my team decided to do this program just to give hope to our members in UK and Ireland, irrespective of what is taking place in Ghana, Mansa Musa. So we had the emergency meeting and we agreed to run this program to let our members know, irrespective of disappointment behavior by our parliamentarians in Ghana, we still have hope in John Dramani Mahama. And Musa, I want to send a message to all the parliamentarians. They should listen and listen good. You see, Mansa Musa, NDC, if you want to be a member, you have to register as a common member from the branch. Then within the processes, you work your way out into a constituency so that when the opportunity comes, Musa, you can put yourself forward to serve the party. You see, people don't go to parliament on their own will. It is the party that sent them there. So I want to employ people back home. We need to investigate. Then when we get to know them, look, some of us can send a complaint. If you get to know the name, then the party discipline process can start, Mansa Musa. because people are sad and people are highly disappointed. So our comrades back home, we need to find out all those individuals who are sabotaging our current leadership. Musa, this matter should not allow to go scot-free. In the party constitution, Mansa Musa, anybody who behave anti-party behavior must be dragged to a disciplinary. So I want to challenge the party leadership that we are waiting to hear their action. So, colleagues, this evening I want us to, in between, listen to our Chairman General of the true state of the nation. We do a bit of discussion. Some colleagues from Ghana may join in, Justice Yeboah and one Alhaji Kamal. They will join in and also add their contribution as the program gets along. So, comrades, let's have hope. With John Dramani Mahama, we still have hope. Mansa Musa.
With your John Dramani Mahama, you still have hope. Obviously, it is about the sonar, but we can't go without, bringing in the shock of, I would term it, the betrayal of the century. John Mahama have also spoken. But do you agree that he, Mahama, and the rest of the top guns must come down heavily on this? Because otherwise, how will those people stay in the party? I still find it difficult to envisage. I don't know. What do you think?
Musa, I agree with you. The party should first do an investigation, and first we need to find those who are involved. Musa, I see, even if you are parliamentarian and you are not going back to parliament, this is not how you pay the party back. We don't do this to a party that you are serving in parliament. Even if you are not going back to parliament, you don't betray your party that you belong. This is a massive betrayal. So some of us, me question, some of us, are pleading to John Dramani Mahama and the party leadership. We need to find those who are involved. This time around, and this is sometimes, we just allow things to go. This issue, Musa, if me Kwesi, either I'm the chairman or I'm not the chairman of the UK and Ireland, this matter should not lie low. Because Ghanaians are suffering, Mansa Musa. It is time we save Ghanaians from this incompetent management of the economy in Ghana. And this is not how, as opposition party, we should behave in parliament. So John Dramani Mahama and the party leadership, we want to hear from them direct. Though we've seen some statements flying around, we still want to see what the party constitution say about people who are behaving anti-party behavior within the system. So we are still waiting the processes of what will take place, Mansa Musa. So today we are doing so now.
Okay. Kwesi said it. Today we are doing sonar. Okay, thank you. I receive. So, Kwesi, those people who will like to join from Ghana, have you given them the WhatsApp number to? Okay, thank you. To the studio, because the what we call it, the mobile, the studio mobile is a WhatsApp. So instead of them maybe calling my private, which might interrupt sometimes, I think it would be better if they knew the studio one. So, but it's not a problem. As at when anyone wants to come in, let's know.
Musa, I've sent them what you call the program, which you have the telephone numbers on it.
Very good.
So technically, if they look on the numbers on it and they'll call that number. I think it will come into your system. So,
okay.
Even one of them, Alaji, has got even a WhatsApp number already. So I believe that if he's listening, Alaji, when the time comes, you can call him through the WhatsApp number that you have.
That is
NFM Radio.
Hey. Okay, thank you.
So in between, we'll be playing a bit of Bob of Sona. Then we sandwich with a bit of discussion about the party's position on the true state of the nation.
Okay. Right, so that is it. I've played a little bit. Do you want us to continue a little bit, or you want to say something more?
Yes, let me say a bit of brief. I mean, you, like you said, you play a bit of what the party position on the party stated concerning the true state of the nation for Ghanaians. Musa, Ghanaians, as we speak now, are really suffering. And some of the things our chairman mentioned is about human rights of this current administration. You see, the party is not happy about what took place in Ashama in terms of the way civilians were treated. So even the president didn't even mention it, but the party has made mention that, look, we are not in support of that issue. So it is something, by the killing of a soldier, that one, we condemn it, whatever it is. Those who have been arrested, if the culprits are found, they should allow the law to work. And again, the party have stated that this current regime, the visionless of the leadership, the cluelessness of the leadership, the wasteful behavior, the way the money is being wasted, we need to let Ghanaians know that enough is enough. This is why we want our MPs in parliament to sit out and stop the games that they are playing with Ghanaians. Because, Mansa Musa, there are people in Ghana who want to vote for NDC. They don't belong to the party. They are neutral people. Now, they want NDC to come and rescue Ghana. So when this behavior goes on in parliament, because some people want to sabotage some leadership, it is not a good thing, Mansa Musa. That is why there's NDC members, the grassroots of food soldiers, we need to stand up and tell people who think they have the entitlement. We tell them that, look, enough is enough. Our leader who brought this party, may his soul rest in peace. What do you call it? Rollins. He first said on probity and accountability. The monocracy going on in Ghana, Musa, is something we need to say something about it. We need to break it. This evening, you use a strong words on us. But, I know shit, but however, I don't blame you. We forgive you. It is because of what it is. So our parliamentarians back home, we beg them. This afternoon I was listening to Rickety Hayford or whatever. He said, look, it is a pure sabotage. And we will find out individuals who are involved, Makibusa.
Okay. There is a gentleman on the phone, I think, let me see the number, yeah, from Ghana. So let's quickly go to him for him to have his say.
Yeah, Father, if he's one of our guests.
Since he's from Ghana, I think he's from Ghana. So even if he's not a guest, he's from Ghana. No, I'm sure he's from.
Okay, that's fine.
I'm sure he's one of them. I'm joking, you see. Right. Okay, so I've connected. Oh, where is he? Where is he?
Yes, Master Musa.
Do you know what you've done? The moment you said that, he dropped the phone. The moment you said that.
Oh, caller. Big one to you. Please call back. If you drop the phone because of, please, I'm sorry. Please call back.
Let me see. I can't see. Okay, let's see. Okay. This phone is misbehaving. It doesn't show who called now. But anyway, he will surely call back.
No, it's your caller. Please call back. We want to hear from everybody. Mister, we can play some bits of the program, the chairman's program, then we begin to interrogate it as we go along, Master Musa.
Okay. Is that King Edward?
Yeah, have I come to the program?
Sorry, when you?
Comrade Yusufni.
Okay, hang on. The gentleman calling from Ghana, are you still here?
Hello?
Okay. It's Yusuf, Jinahomami. The phone is something, Even though I can't see the phone live, I can't see him live, he's still there. So let me talk to the gentleman in Accra. Hello.
Okay.
Hello?
Yeah. You are still on. Now you are live. Tell us your name and take it away.
Yeah, thank you, and a very good evening to all your listeners. My name is Alhaji Kamal, and I'm calling from Ghana, Secondly to be specific. I've called to join in the discussion with my contribution about the State of the Nation's address as delivered by the National Chairman of the National Democratic Congress last week. And I can tell you that what General Asedun Ketia, the National Chairman of the party, delivered represents the true reflection of whatever is happening currently in Ghana. And it negates and dismisses the lies and propaganda that Nana Akufo-Addo went to Parliament to deliver, all in the name of the State of the Nation's address. Number one, to make that point or to buttress my point, the NPP government told us that, and Nana Akufo-Addo to be specific, he told Ghanaians that during COVID that he knows how to revive the economy. He knows how he will revive the Ghanaian economy, and that he cannot take care or he can't do anything about dead Ghanaians. And it has now turned out to be false and lies, as the Ghanaian economy currently is in shambles. We are now... Pardon me? Hello?
Oh, please go ahead. It's an automatic references coming through. Don't worry. Go ahead.
As I was saying, the Ghanaian economy is now in shambles. The country now is a debt distress country. Nana Akufo-Addo, during the debt restructuring exercise, the beginning stages, told Ghanaians that there will be no haircut. That claim has now turned to be false. Akufo-Addo told Ghanaians that he will build 88 district hospitals within 1 year. It has turned out to be false. Agenda 111 has turned out to be false. Akufo-Addo told Ghanaians that he is going to abolish road tolls. It has now turned out to be false. So someone like this who speaks one thing and delivers another, how can we trust him? My brother, they told Ghanaians that the NDC administration under the leadership of His Excellency John Dramani Mahama in 2016 were incompetent. Now, all the macroeconomic indicators that John Dramani Mahama and NDC left behind, they have now turned to be the target of this incompetent MPP administration. And I doubt it. I have my fullest hope that Akufo-Addo would never be able to achieve those targets before he leaves his miserable office in 2024. To give you an example, public debt stock in 2016, at the end of 2016, stood at 120 billion. And they told Ghanaians that Mahama was borrowing so much and that he is incompetent. Today, even according to their own figures, Ken Ofori-Atta is telling us today that the public debt is now around 575 billion, which is worse. In 2016, we had a debt to GDP ratio of 56%. Today, it's over 103%, my brother. Our budget deficit in 2016 was 6.1. Today, Akufo-Addo and his miserable government are doing over 12%. The rate of inflation in 2016, as we know, was 15.4. Today, we're having a hyperinflation of over 52%. Lending rate in 2016 is about 25% averagely. Akufo-Addo and his miserable government today are doing 38 to 45%. Not talk about the exchange depreciation rate. That was about 9.6% then, and it is now turned to be over 23%. Now, let us go to the unemployment rate. Unemployment rate during John Dramani Mahama's time was 8.4%. Akufo-Addo's miserable administration today is doing over 14%. With a freeze on public employment. Agri sector, for example, that grew about 2.7% in 2016 is now growing at 0.7%. Look, I can go on and on and on and on. All the macroeconomic indicators, every considerable measurement that anybody can take a look at to determine the mark of a good administration and bad one doesn't favor Akufo-Addo. Today we are having the worst economic situation in this country ever. Let us take a closer look even at commodity prices in Ghana today, especially for the benefit of those of you who are not currently residing in the country. And I can tell you confidently that things in Ghana is now at its worst form. Akufo-Addo and his miserable MPP administration, they are doing so badly to the extent that if care is not taken, let me give you an example. A ball of kenke that sells at 50 pesos to 1 cedi in 2016, during the administration of the NDC under the leadership of His Excellency John Dramani Mahama, today is going for 4 cedis to 5 cedis. A ball of kenke that sells at 1 cedi is now going 4 to 5 cedis. A sack of maize that sold at 170 cedis, that is 1.7. Today is going over 900 cedis in Ghana. Today, a 5 kilogram of Gino rice is selling at 185 cedis, whereas during NDC's administration, it was selling at just 25 cedis. A tuber of yam is going in the Ghanaian market for 25 cedis today. But during NDC's time, it was just 5 cedis. My brother, let's look at sachet water. These are common things that the ordinary Ghanaian cannot live without. Common things that the ordinary Ghanaian cannot live without currently in this country. Sachet water, a bag is now selling from 8 cedis to 10 cedis, depending on where you will buy. But during NDC's time, it was just 1 cedi 50 pesos. Can you imagine that? A bag of cement that sold at 27 cedis in 2016 during NDC administration today is going for over 90 Ghana cedis. Even sanitary pads that our sisters and mothers used during that time of the month. Sanitary pad during NDC time that sold at 2 cedis 50 pesos is going over 20 cedis today under a uselessly incompetent administration led by Nana Akufo-Addo and his Achim Mafia. Everything in this country today has gone haywire, and it is very, very unfortunate, to say the least. So, my brother, if you take a careful look at what the chairman general, that is the chairman of the NDC delivered, that represents the true state of the nation's address, as all these facts and figures, verifiable facts and figures that I've delivered tonight were all captured in that address. Now, let's look at one reason that these people always want Ghanaians to believe. When you point at their incompetence, when you point at their mismanagement, when you point at their recklessness, whatever they refer to Ghanaians is that, oh, because there is COVID, and lately they brought in Russia and Ukraine war. Always trying to find excuses for their incompetence. My brother, COVID brought along a financial windfall of over 30 billion to this useless government. They have squandered all these resources. And then every time that we make mention of their incompetence, they point to COVID. That is not the case. COVID can never be the excuse why you are not performing. COVID can never be the excuse, because even before COVID-19 came, that was in 2019, our public debt stood at 225 billion. You had increased it from 120 billion to 225 billion. That is before COVID. Our debt servicing, that went for about 37 billion during 11 billion, during NDC's administration in 2016. We were using only 11 billion to service our debt. But before COVID, from 2016 to 2019, Akufo-Addo's incompetent administration were using about 37 billion, and that amounted to about 91% of their total tax revenue. Clear incompetence and mismanagement. Budget deficit stood at 7.5% in 2016. About budget deficit by 2018 was moving beyond the 5% threshold, and they recorded 7.5 in 2018, and in 2019 they also recorded about 7%. You remember, with regards to the city depreciation, there was this 40-man committee that was instituted even without Baumia, the so-called head of the economic management team. They excluded him. All the big guns, they were assembled just to think about how the depreciation of the city was just going haywire after Baumia had made that claim that he had arrested the city and then he has caged him and given the key to the IGP. Well, all these events happened before COVID. So clearly, by what I have been able to state on this program tonight, it clearly indicates that this government was even reckless before COVID came in. COVID-19 could never have been the reason why this administration is not performing, my brother. So if you ask me, the true state of the nation as delivered by the national chairman of the National Democratic Congress, Chairman General Asedun Ketia, represents a true reflection of what is happening currently here in Ghana. My brother, it is not easy. It is not easy. Ghanaians are going through hardship. Hardship. Ghanaians are going through hardship. It is not easy at all. So this is the time for all of us to put all our hands on deck and do everything possible that come 2024 we kick out this uselessly incompetent administration of Nana Akufo-Addo and his Achim Mafia family and friends government that are feeding fat on our scarce resources, and then anytime that we make mention of it, they sought to give excuses, my brother.
All right. Thank you. Thank you very much. Kwesi, your line wasn't connected, so I'm going to connect it so that you can thank Alaji and Alaji will hear you properly. Before Kwesi, so you said thank you to Alaji, but I didn't hear you. So now,
Alaji, thank you so much for your contribution, and we'd like to say a big thank you for we in the UK and Ireland here. We've listened to you. This radio cuts across, go beyond. So next time, we hope we want to invite you again. You're going to join us to help us to dissect this issue. Thank you so much, Alaji. Yeah, thank you so much.
Right.
Musa, can we play a bit of
yeah, I will play that, but there's another someone on the other line. Let him also say something small.
Okay.
No, but Kwesi, honestly, I don't know who is there. So you are handling the program. So if you want me to play, I will.
Yeah, let's the person hold on briefly. Then you play some few minutes of the Chairman General's message. Then you go to the person before we can.
Okay.
Please.
83. What's the number? Is it 8303? Hello, who is this? Hello.
Hello, this is Comrade Yusuf.
Yusuf, hang on a second while we play a little bit of Chairman General's message. Is that okay?
Okay. Yeah, that's fine.
Thank you.
Thank you, Comrade.
Thank you.
Right. So please bear with. I have to change connections, and you know, my system is saying that the one that is permanent on the system, the moment you stop, it goes back to the very beginning, and that is not very clever. So I'm playing it on another platform.
Objective minds that Ghanaians are experiencing excruciating hardship because the Akufo-Addo Baumia MPP government has offered utterly useless and reckless governance in the last 7 years. They have shown no restraint in the level of recklessness in governance. My brothers and sisters, today, the public debt stock, which stood at 120 billion cedis in 2016, has increased to a whopping 600 billion cedis, while the debt to GDP ratio, that was 56% in 2016, now stands at 103%. It must be underscored that the president and his economic management or mismanagement team actively colluded with the Minister of Finance, Ken Ofori-Atta, for the latter to benefit directly from these borrowings through numerous transaction fees, schemes, and scams from the bonds that Ghana issued. Ladies and gentlemen, you may have a look at the table that will shortly be shown on your screens. My brothers and sisters, despite being the luckiest and most resourced government in Ghana's history, the Akufo-Addo Bawumia MPP government has the least to show in terms of socio-economic development. This is because the MPP has used all your money mainly for consumption. This is contrary to the president's claim that his government has used large amounts of the monies we borrowed on roads and construction. The president knows he deliberately misled Ghanaians with this claim because he's aware that only a minute amount of the overall resource envelope that has accrued to his government since 2017 has been used for the construction and rehabilitation of roads in this country. The truth is that only an abysmal 1.6% of the total resource envelope of 820 billion Ghana cedis has been spent on roads by this government. Official government of Ghana records show that a whopping 93% of the 820 billion Ghana cedis has been spent on consumption, including Akufo-Addo's 20,000 euros an hour luxurious private jet travels across the world, hired over several months at the expense of the taxpayer. It is a tragedy that the president will classify routine minor road repairs such as resealing, reshaping, pothole filling, regraveling, and even the silting of gutters as new road construction. The claim that this government has constructed over 11,000 kilometers of new roads is false and should be completely disregarded. The president should hang his head in shame. Apart from the unsustainable debt of the country, the budget deficit, which stood at 6.1% in 2016, now stands at a whopping 12% under the watch of the Bawumia-led economic management team. This is after it rose to an unprecedented high of 15.7% in 2020, owing to the reckless election-driven spending of the government. Per government's own figures, the rate of inflation, which stood at 15.4% as of December 2016, now stands at a hyper rate of 52% and rising. The lending rate that stood at 25% on average in the year 2016 now stands between 38% and 45%. Whilst exchange rate depreciation that stood at 9.6% for the year 2016 now stands at 23% for the first 2 months of this year alone. This is after the CD depreciated by over 54% in the first 11 months of last year, 2022, making it the worst performing currency in the world. From a stable credit rating of B- in 2016 under the NDC Mahama administration, Ghana's economy has been downgraded by all credit rating agencies to below junk status, owing largely to the country's default on its debt obligations, again under the watch of Dr. Bawumia. After supervising an increase in the rate of unemployment from 8.4% as at 2016 to 14% in 2021, The Baumia-led economic management team has now placed a total freeze on public sector employment. Their much-touted You Start program that was supposed to be a $1 billion investment in youth startups to create jobs has also turned out to be another spectacular scam.
Kwesi, let me know when you want me to stop by.
No,
WhatsApp
you can stop
signal.
now for now, and let's contribute a bit because let's have the gentleman who wants to contribute briefly. So we can pause now briefly, Mansa Musa, please.
Okay. I sent you a message on WhatsApp that you should use your WhatsApp to give me a signal. I saw that you are not responding.
Well, I'll go to the.
No worries.
Sorry, I will also go.
No worries. Now that we have spoken. So let me go. I think Yusuf is ready to. Okay, thank you very much. It's ready to speak to us. Okay, let me take this one out. It's making too much noise. You are listening to Mansa Musa. The program is Fire Will Burn You, and it's just metaphorical. It's not going to burn anybody. Fire is not good to play with. I've told you that. Make fire your servant, and it's good. If fire becomes your master, you are in trouble. Comrade Yusuf, welcome to Fire Will Burn You, and to me, Mansa Musa. Good evening.
Thank you very much, Yusuf, and all of you. And I'd like to thank the chairman for the brilliant, message that he has given to Ghanaians, and all of you that have contributed in regards to the failures of the current government. In fact, it's very sad to see that, things is going this way. And it's unfortunate that, we just can't do anything, because if you look at all these during election, when there is rigging and all that, they throw in some police and military personnel to intimidate Ghanaians. And it's just like, we cannot, we are unable to fight back. How do we fight, even when you are, when you have your rights, you are right in what you are doing, and somebody says you are not right, you are wrong. They are standing there with arms, for instance, police and military personnel. And look at how even the previous election, how it ended, how the electoral, commissioner, how she announced the results. And all what they will tell you is go to court. And I believe with all these failures is to have a clandestine agenda for the 2024. And I want, as a political scientist, we see things in the eyes of an eagle. We can see things. We have foresight to see things and how things are going. He just don't care. The current president doesn't care. He believes that he's got the power, he's got some police and military personnel that are behind him to do whatever he wants. So I just want to give my message as a warning to our NDC personnel, our NDC comrades. Let's watch out very carefully. Probably unless a tit for tat, we will not be able to stand against this because they have an agenda. They know they can always rig. So what should we do right now? Unless we stand firm, and it's unfortunate also to see some of our comrades, NDC members, voting in favor, in violation of the principled agreement that they should all vote against the ministerial appointment. What did they do? They went and voted against our principled agenda. So all I can see is, brothers, comrades, we are in a very tough situation. It's not a joke. When you try to reflect back what our ex-president Rawlings said, this revolution, well, what we have now, what we had was burst in fire. It was through fire that this party, NDC, was born. It is not a joke. In fact, all those who have betrayed us, we should mark them down. They can never be trusted. And let's keep fighting, and let's prepare well for 2024. It is all, the handwriting is on the wall. This current government, they have failed. All one will continue to say, they have failed. Ghanaians know. If there is election today, they will lose. But who knows if they will not rake.
NFM Radio.
So my problem is how we can, what are we going to do to prevent rigging? What are we going to do to prevent them from using some police and military personnel to intimidate us during the coming 2024 election? Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. Mansa Musa, let me add one or two to our brother. Whilst we wait for some individuals to call him, Mansa Musa, do I have the permission to go?
Yes. Go ahead.
Musa, you see, what is happening if you listen to the Chairman General, based on what he mentioned concerning the revenues, he's saying that Ghana, as we speak, under this government, the revenue accrue almost 820 billion. Only 1.6%, Mansa Musa, has been used on infrastructure and things. Musa, how sad. That is why, Mansa Musa, sometimes when I speak, I always want to compare Ghana to Rwanda. Musa, 1994, Rwanda went into civil war. If you go and see the amount of development Rwanda is doing for its people, you'll be amazed. This MPP government, the colossal amount of money they've collected, if you come to the health sector, they should by now be telling us what they have provided in terms of physical for us to see, Musa.
In fact, if by now they've had about even 5 major, modern, ultra-modern hospital, 5, even if you have built that one, then we will say, yeah,
we go to the housing project. All this colossal money they have used, housing, what have they provided for the citizens in terms of housing, Mansa Musa? This government, within the space of 6 months or 6 years, the colossal billions of cities they collected for loan. John Dramani Mahama had close to 45-50 billion. He was building Segleme. Now Segleme is becoming a ghost village. All because they know that place will turn into a similar city like Tamahabo. So they said, no. And the roads that the General talked about, Mansa Musa, General was saying that only 1.6% of the revenue that these people are claiming to achieve have been used. Musa however, John Dramani Mahama, when he was in office, the small amount of roads he used, he managed to do 71,000 kilometers of roads. And he provided us with the details, the list. You see, when we do sonar to the people, Musa, it is for the people. NPP in power, what they should understand, 1992 Constitution, what it says is that, you see, they put checks and balances for any president who comes to office. So when you are in office as president, before parliament starts, you give your state of the nation. At the end of the parliament, you do it. It's part of checks and balances within the financial sector, Mansa Musa. So it is incumbent on any government who draws the money from the consolidated fund to manage the country to tell us how you have used the resources. That is all what the NDC General was doing. The true state of the nation, not the story bit. You see, Musa, what even amazes me, in this country, United Kingdom, where are the NPP communicators, Musa? Like when
they are hiding behind WhatsApp. Some are telling me, you see, 2024, your MPs, NDC MPs will vote for MPP because they don't trust Mahama and Esiedun Ketia.
No, that's okay. I mean, I don't blame them because I blame our parliamentarians who has brought this to ourselves. But however, Musa, we the grassroots will rise against them. Whatever money they've collected, that lajar that they've collected, Musa will rise up against them. When President Nana Akufo-Addo realized that his elected chairman, he can't trust him, what did he do with him? He asked him to step aside, he and the secretary. So it is time, John Dramani Mahama, and I said in Katia, the reforms they started in the party is not finished yet. Those saboteurs within us, we need to find out from them and ask them why they did that. Because it's anti-party. You see, Mansa Musa, when the party gives directive to system or structure, because parliamentary caucus, they are part of the party structures. So if the party leadership has issued an order, how dare you go and disobey them? It is indiscipline. And the constitution have a prescription for it, Mansa Musa. So the party needs to sit up. We are waiting for press conference to hear from the party what we are going to do, Mansa Musa. You see, they talk of roads. Musa, has NPP people mentioned any roads that they have done? Based on the 11,000 that they said, did they mention the roads? They could not mention the roads. Let's tell us where the roads are. The 11,000 that they said they've done, where are they? Ghanaians want to know, because when the roads are produced, it's part of the economic system, and Ghanaians are going to use it for business. When the roads are improved, Musa, it affects the people's life. The health sector. How many hospitals have NPP built? How many? The 88 and this, like Alaji said, how many have they built, Mansa Musa? Listen, Ghanaians, it is time that we ask NPP and the Akufo-Addo that, look, enough is enough. It is time that we tell them that, look, when they want to tell us the state of the nation, we want the true state of the... How much are Ghanaians surviving in Ghana? Construction, how much are they? Musa, I'll pause here. Let's pray for a couple of General Secretary of State, and let's listen. So I'll pause here. Let's listen to you, Master.
Master, please allow me some few seconds to just chip in this message that I forgot. Is that okay?
Go ahead.
Is that okay?
Go ahead.
Yeah. I intercepted a conversation last year from a very, an MPP guy who didn't know where I stand. Just sometimes I don't show myself. And, he didn't know. He told me, he said, Ken Oforiatta has a team. It's a secret team. It's only known among them. This team, all the money that he's embezzled, the money that he's embezzled from the government, is partly for him and his family, and partly for him to finance elections. Because they want to what? Capture on the vulnerability of the Ghanaian electorate. Because, during elections when Ghanaians are poor, nobody will just even take something small and just vote. So when they have the money and they can throw money onto these vulnerable Ghanaians, these vulnerable electorates, they will end up voting for them. So I can tell you they are sitting down laughing at us, saying that wait until election. Who is going to have the money? What NDC we should be doing right now is we should be soliciting for money. We don't hide where we are coming from. We are left wingers. We are socialists. We are social democrats, and we believe in welfare, developing welfare system. It's unfortunate that Ghanaians don't understand. Most Ghanaians don't understand what politics is all about. They vote without even knowing which ideology this party is using. NPP is known to what? To enrich the few rich people in this society, whilst majority of Ghanaians remains in poverty. They don't care about the welfare system. They don't care about housing. All they know is privatization. They don't want to even develop the state enterprises that are in ruins. Look at our railways. So what I want to tell you is that what I want to say here is that this Ufuriata, he has an agenda. He's sitting on the money, and he's going to use this money. They're not going to go outside begging for anybody to use. They have the money already.
Okay.
Yeah, that is what I want to say. Let's prepare.
Okay.
NDC, we must prepare. We must prepare, even if it means we have to go to Putin and Xi Jinping. They are left wingers. Let them help us. They should help us. Not these corrupt guys. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank you. You are listening to the program Fire Will Burn You, and tonight devoting all the time, which is sponsored by Mr. Kwesiakwa, to discuss the
leading to the collapse of many businesses and loss of jobs, such that 5 foreign construction firms, namely Contractor, Sino Hydro, Rolida, Amandi, and Via Build, who are working on various foreign funded projects in the country, have laid off thousands of Ghanaian workers in the last few months. Ladies and gentlemen, the destruction of the economy by the Akufo-Addo-Bawumia NPP government permeates every sector of the nation. For instance, growth rate of the agricultural sector has seen a decline from 2.7% in 2016 to 0.7% in 2022. And I would say this is the harvest from the Planting for Food and Jobs program, which has received billions of taxpayer and donor funds. Similarly, the growth rate for the manufacturing sector has also declined from 7.9% in 2016 to 4.5% in 2022, thereby calling into question the impact of the much vaunted 1D, 1F program. Further, the growth rate for the construction sector has also declined from 8.4% in 2016 to 4.2% in 2022, despite government's claim about borrowing to build roads and other infrastructure. Ladies and gentlemen, this is the true state of our nation. It is evidence for all to see that boastful and lofty rhetoric is not the same as competence. Quite to the contrary, with the MPP, empty sloganeering is their way to hide their lack of appreciation of substantive issues. Never again, and hopefully so, should Ghanaians permit themselves to be tormented by a group of boastful persons who feel self-entitled to misgovern. Let us not underrate what it means for our collective sanity when a president has an uncomfortable relationship with the truth, constantly shifts blame to others, and conveniently avoid difficult topics. My brothers and sisters, whereas the president asserts, maybe because of the severity of the present difficulties, or maybe because it suits their preconceived agenda, some people are unwilling to accept that we are on a good trajectory until the arrival of COVID-19. Nothing could be further from the truth. Ghanaians want relief from the socio-economic pain and hardship visited on them by the MPP administration, and not flimsy excuses. Ghanaians want a government that will be truthful, even in difficult times, and listen to them in humility. Incontrovertible facts show that Ghana's economy showed signs of serious challenges even before COVID-19 struck. a point that was made by the country director of the World Bank, Mr. Pierre Laporte. For instance, way before the first case of COVID-19 was recorded in Ghana in March 2020, the public debt had increased from 120 billion in 2016 to 225 billion in 2019, representing an increase of 105 billion in the country's debt stock. COVID was nowhere. Ukraine and Russia had not even thought about
NFM Radio.
Our debt to GDP ratio had increased from 56% in 2016 to about 70% in 2019. That is including the ESLA, DACHI, and other hidden debts. Before COVID-19, the debt servicing amount had increased from 11 billion in 2016 to 37 billion in 2019 and constituted 91% of tax revenue.
Yeah, Musa, can you pause briefly?
No, Ukraine and Russia.
Yo.
And the Queen was still alive. And
right, so.
Yeah, do you have anybody on waiting? Or if not, let's continue, Musa.
Yeah, continue. Go
Musa,
ahead.
Musa, you know, like our chairman was trying to mention to Ghanaians, Musa, you see, if you look at the 1992 Constitution,
NFM Radio.
the reason why some of us are challenging the current president and MPP is that, you see, the consolidated fund belongs to the state. And it's in there mentioned with black and white, stating that the revenues of other monies referred to clause 1 is part of the same article shall be included in revenues and the monies, so that all monies are payable under an act of parliament. So per the constitution, as part of the state of the nation, whatever the money that the nation uses must be accounted to the people, Musa. Those are the difficulties we find ourselves, Musa. Ghana, as we speak, under all the numerous presidents who have passed and gone, you start from Kwame Nkrumah, right down to Ankara, Kotoka, Achampo, mention Kufo, mention Mills, then you come to JDM before the Nakufadi. All these presidents who have passed through the system spent colossal, all to put together was 120 billion, Mansa. And you could see what they did with the money. Nkrumah built a township. Nkrumah built motorway. Akosombo Dam was built by Kwame Nkrumah. Factories was built by Kwame Nkrumah. Akasanuma and all this. All based on the resources of the state. Now, I will leave the other president because there was military intervention in between them. Even at Champo, he did a massive things for the state. When Dramani Mama took over for his term that he served in office, Musa, he said that he built hospitals, modern hospitals. They are there. All the money, he invested the money in hospital beds, expand the infrastructure. If you go to regional hospitals, Musa, he did invested in them. He mentioned a rich hospital, Tamale Hospital. He didn't even stop there. He moved to polyclinics. He was building polyclinics for other areas. Those are what we call infrastructure for the state. Now, what even amazes us, Musa, with all these huge sums of money, what to show, what are there for us to see that this is what we have for the state, Musa? We should mention them. If there are roads, mention it from maybe from Paga to this place, 20 kilometers. This is what we've done. From this place to this place, those are the things Ghanaians want to want. That look, we've used your money for that. You see,
NFM Radio.
when these people, yes, Musa.
NFM Radio.
Musa, did you
go ahead.
Yes, so we want to find out from the MPP in government. Like the general was trying to say, telling us the growth of the economy, where are they? If there's a growth in the economy, why are Ghanaians suffering in terms of jobs? Musa, the businesses in Ghana, why are they? This morning I was listening to a fellow who said he was in America and he was convinced to come and invest in the nation. He went to Ghana to invest. All his money is gone, so he's gone back to America. He has regretted it. That's what the gentleman was saying. I listened to that. It's so bizarre, Mansa Musa. It is time we tell our politicians who take power that, look, if you take over the governance of the state, the country doesn't belong to any group of people. Group of cabal in office, the amount of money they have used. Musa, let's even assume that President Nana Akufo-Addo and MPP, all this amount of money they have collected from the state, let's Musa assume that they use it for roads. Musa, I have said, and I want to repeat it. If me, Kwesi, I have the opportunity to tell every president when you are in office what to do, I will give every president a different assignment to do. Like President Nana Akufo-Addo, I will tell him, President, just do all the roads for 4 years. Don't do any other thing. Even the free SHS, leave it. Do the roads, keke, for Ghanaians. And make sure by the time you leave office, 70% of the roads is asphalted. Don't do any other thing. When John Dramani Mahama come to office, we tell him that, Mr. President, you know what? Use your 4 years and make sure that we have a good secondary school infrastructure across the country, both vocational and technical. Because, Musa, the orthodox type of education system is not helping our children. So it is time that the government in power look at the engineering aspect of education, the technical aspect of education, so that young men who can use their hands can at least get something doing, even when they are in college or other places. But no. We love politics more than developing the state, Mansa Musa. Musa, if you go to Rwanda, let me always want to refer to Rwanda. You know what Paul Kagame is doing? He will go and occupy a village. Then he will build, not that he will demolish the houses, he will move to another area and build edifice for family members, and he gradually move them in free of charge. Then they sign an agreement that, look, stay here free of charge, but you don't have the right to sell the property. So they stay inside free of charge. Now, India has moved in to help the economy because Rwanda is doing great. What they are doing is that they have given them, supply them cows. They are giving cows to the family to use the cows to support themselves. What is happening in Ghana, Mansa Musa? Galamsey. Even the water body that the good Lord himself said we should use to do farming, we've destroyed everything. Musa, it is sad. So NDC is saying that, look, please, the state of the nation is the state of the nation. When we want to speak to the Ghanaians, what we have done for the state as government, we have to be truthful. Musa, it is very important we tell Ghanaians what we use the state money. You see, the money we are using as politicians is not for us, it's for the state. Musa, I'll pause here, play some of the chairman's listen for our listeners to listen, Mansa Musa.
Right, you are listening to Mansa Musa. It's Fire Will Burn You tonight, a special one, which is being sponsored by Mr. Kwesi Akwa, to talk, to defend, to delve into the true state of the nation's address, which was delivered by Mr. Asiedun Ketia not quite long ago. We paused it at about some 16 minutes into the address. So let's continue from there.
No earthquake in Turkey. Also, the budget deficit had exceeded the legally acceptable threshold of 5% and had hit 7.5% in 2018 and 7% in 2019. There was no COVID. Again, before COVID-19, the Ghana CD in 2019 was plummeting in double digits, leading to the setting up of a 40-member committee by the government to investigate the causes of the alarming depreciation of the national currency. Surprisingly, the committee excluded the chairman of the economic management team, a move described by many analysts as a vote of no confidence in the competence of His Excellency Vice President Mahmoud Bawumia by his own government. In fact, per paragraph 61 of this government's own 2020 mid-year budget review statement, I beg to quote, in the year to December 2019, the Ghana CD cumulative depreciated by 12.9% against the US dollar, compared with 8.4% depreciation in 2018. Against the British pound and euro, the Ghana CD cumulatively depreciated by 15.7% and 12% respectively, compared with 3.3% and 3.9% over the same period in 2018. Unquote. Far from being the cause of economic collapse, COVID-19, in fact, brought the Akufo-Addo-Bawumia government an unprecedented windfall of about 30 billion Ghana cedis to manage and mitigate the impact of the pandemic. Unfortunately, this was largely wasted on election-related expenses. This amount excludes proceeds from the obnoxious COVID-19 levy, which Ghanaians continue to pay till date. My brothers and sisters, according to the Auditor General, only 11.7% of this amount was spent on government COVID-19, with the remainder of about 18 billion being channeled into so-called budget support. There is no gainsaying the fact that the coronavirus pandemic affected all countries in the world, including our next-door neighbors, Benin, Togo, Cote d'Ivoire, Burkina Faso, and Nigeria. Whereas these countries manage their resources prudently, thereby recording deficits below 8% and debt-to-GDP ratios of below 65%, the Akufo-Addo-Bawumia government borrowed excessively and spent recklessly for election purposes, thereby recording a disastrous deficit of 15.7% and a debt-to-GDP ratio of about 80% in 2020. It is instructive to note that in the year 2020, when COVID was at its peak, all our neighbors recorded a budget deficit of less than 8%. Burkina Faso recorded a deficit of 5.7%. Cote d'Ivoire recorded a deficit of 5.6%. Nigeria recorded a deficit of 5.8%, and Senegal recorded a deficit of 6.4%. But Ghana alone recorded a deficit of 15.7% because of the reckless election-driven expenses and wastage the Akufo-Addo-Bawumia NPP government engaged in. My brothers and sisters, did COVID-19 affect Ghana any more than it did to our neighbors? How come none of these countries who were all affected by the pandemic are recording double-digit deficits and high debt-to-GDP ratio of over 100%? How come none of these countries are recording inflation rates of over 50% like Ghana? How come none of this has defaulted on their debt repayments? How can none of them has been downgraded to junk status and have been locked out of the international capital market? How come none of these countries are going through a domestic debt restructuring? How come none of these countries are visiting cruel financial haircuts on their citizens, including pensioners? How come none of these countries are experiencing childhood vaccine shortages? To paraphrase Dr. Baumia, how did COVID-19 jump over Nigeria, Benin,
NFM Radio,
Cote d'Ivoire, and other neighbors of ours to attack and destroy only Ghana's economy? Ladies and gentlemen, the truth of the matter is that the economic mess we have on our hands has largely been brought about by the reckless spending, excessive borrowing, and crash economic mismanagement by the Baumia-led economic management team, and not any external factors as government will have us believe. The last thing that is required in time of crisis is a leader whose words ring hollow and who cannot be trusted. In truth, Akufo-Addo has proven Stephen Levinsky right when he wrote in his famous book, How Democracies Die. And this was what he said. Quote, "For a demagogue who feels besieged by critics and shackled by democratic institutions, crisis open a window of opportunity to silence critics and weaken rivals. Indeed, elected autocrats often need crisis. External threats offer them a chance to break free, both swiftly and very often legally," unquote. During this crisis, nothing the president says can be believed because everything he has said has proven to be untrue. Ghanaians have come to realize that the claim by the president that he knew how to revive a dead economy was a scam. Quote,
Musa,
"We
can
are
you pause?
a proud nation. We are not going to IMF." Was a scam. There will be no help.
Right. So we are at almost, let's see, 25 minutes of it. I'm not quite sure.
No, okay.
I'm not sure we can
okay.
play all anyway, but
No. We can at least the listeners are listening to the major. You see, Musa, let me say something. I said in Kacha make some inference in autocratic behavior of a leader. Musa, the other day when John Dramani Mama was speaking in public, he made a reference to a gentleman called Ozzy Mandayas. I think I've said it in your studio before. Musa, a leader, you lead the people. The word democracy is a Greek word. It's called demokratou, ruled by the people. And there was this leader in Greek, he's called Ozzy Mandayas. I think those who are doing English literature, they might come across that text. You see, Ozzy, in a Greek word, is ozion, just to breathe. And Mandayas is mandate. Somebody who loves mandate. By his dictatorial ruling, his people begin to not like him. So that is what Ozzy Mandayas was. Somebody who doesn't even listen to his own people. So when the ruler died, they built a statue and they wanted to put the statue in the middle of the city. However, the citizens objected and removed the statue and went and placed it in the desert because he was not a good ruler to the citizenry. Musa, what a leader does is that you have the people, you lead them, because the state belongs to the people. So when you are a leader, you tell the truth to the people. Musa, the issue of fiber optic cable, I think that Absedin Kasha mentioned the issue of fiber optic cable in one of the speeches. And he's saying that even this government are not even pressing NDC for the colossal amount of fiber optic cable that were provided to enable us to have this, what you call, cashless sort of transaction. The Dramani Mama provided almost 900 kilometers across the Eastern Corridor Road. They didn't even mention it. Within Accra City, there were a lot of fiber optic cables connectivity which was provided. The other centers within Accra, communication centers within Accra, Musa, to improve our communication network. All the infrastructure which was put in place by John Dramani Mama, these people didn't even recognize it and appreciate it. Musa, this is the type of politics we do in Africa. Let's destroy things. Let's, you see, Musa, we need to have a group in Ghana, a group that will take the Ghana national policy in place. That look, this is a national policy document. Any government that comes, any infrastructure that we spend money on it, we should complete it, Mansa Musa. We need to have a civil group that to put themselves together and make sure we fight this kind of wastage. Musa, Ghana is bleeding. And I'm crying for John. You see, it is God that made these people to stay in power. Musa, you mentioned this some time ago. If assume John Dramani Mama should have taken over and he couldn't manage and taking Ghana back to IMF, do you know the song these people will sing? These people, Mansa Musa, you know what? It is time that our politicians, NDC have made a true statement to the nation. They need to follow it up to the citizens. We need to go to the grassroots, the branches. We need to tell Ghanaians how best we can rescue this country. Because, Musa, the colossal amount of money, if these people have sunk it in our roads, infrastructure, Musa, Ghana should have been a very good place, a safe environment in terms of business. So we are pleading to NDC, especially the leadership. The reforms that they have in place, they should not stop. Individuals who are making sure that things doesn't work for the party, we need to insist that, look, not again, enough. Musa, let's play a couple of Asedin Katia's speech.
Yusuf, I thought you said you want to say something. Okay, one second.
Should I go on?
Yeah, go ahead.
Should I go on?
Yes.
Yeah. I believe the chairman, Honorable Asidun Katia, has said it all. All what Ghanaians want to know, what they want to hear, all of us want to know. He has said it all. This government has failed. But all what I'm saying is that this current government, MPP government, they have an agenda. They've stolen all these monies. Their failures is due to the monies that they have embezzled. Because they know that in Ghana politics, during election, you have to throw in money. You don't have to go, soliciting for money again. Then Uforiata is sitting on what? Billions and billions of Ghanaian money. And that is what they are going to use to finance the coming election. So what is now the general? In fact, I have not met the general before. I have not met Honorable His Excellency, the President John Dramani Mahama. I have not met him. But through this medium, I want them, if they are listening to us, to know that even though we've come up with all these points against them, we will take it to election campaigns and all that. But if we don't have the funding, the money to stand against people, they will use the money that they have embezzled to fool Ghanaians, to buy votes, and to try and rig this election. So all what I'm saying is that I don't have the ability or the capability to what? But if I was His Excellency John Dramani Mahama or Honorable Asidun Katia, they are well known all over the world. And we are left wingers. Look for our left wingers who have also money outside. I don't want to mention names. Let them come.
You made this the second time you're making this point. I totally agree with you, for your concern and reminding that you want to remind, the authorities. But here is the case, you said of kind of rata sitting on billions of cedis,
Yes. Yes.
Obviously, you guys are not going to match them on how much they can bribe Ghanaians. So I think your advice should rather go, instead of going everywhere to look for money, the suggestion should be that your education to Ghanaians as to, you can't tell them, people who are hungry and poor, are in abject poverty, you can't tell them when someone brings you 10 cedis or 100 cedis or 1,000 cedis, don't take it. But you can indoctrinate them into such a way that they can still have the money. After all, nobody put a gun to their heads. They can still get the money, go to the booth and not vote NPP. You can do this by stressing the point that if you take 1,000 cedis today and vote them back, you are going to struggle for the next 4 years. If you want to do that, then fine. But if you want proper governance, well, we cannot give you big monies for you to vote for us, but vote for us, reject them, take the money and say reject them. You can do that. But for you to say that you should also be going everywhere to look for money, I mean, you are not going to match them if it's about buying votes. Kwesi, one second.
Yeah. I mean, I concord with the point you've made. That what I was saying is an additional, points, additional measures. We can do what you've said, but it shouldn't stop us from because how Ghana is. When you go to achieve, you cannot go empty-handed. All
those things have to be done. But what I'm saying is, on the whole, you cannot beat them to bribing Ghanaians for vote. You can't, whatever. Then you have to also go and find billions, come and spend on election. Then later, when you have to pay back, it's the same vicious cycle. Sorry, Kwesi want to say something, Kwesi?
Yeah, Musa, you said it right. You see, the Ghana politics now has been monetized. So, like you said, Musa, you see, this 2024 election will be won at the branch level. So it is up to party like Yusuf was saying that, look, the party need to find the needed resources within the country. Then when the needed resources is acquired, Yusuf, the work itself should be within the branches. How well we can make the branch executives be very effective at the police station level. Then the leadership, instead of staying in Accra and the cities, they need to go to the branches and work with the branch executives.
Okay, yeah.
So that is, you see.
So what I understand is that you need the resources to solidify at least your bases properly, to be able to make them function properly. That much I think I get it now. Yeah.
So Musa, what should happen is I think the party knows this thing and they are working on it seriously. The branch executives in all the places, including the villages, they need the resources for the election. Sometimes the resources end up at the constituency level, at the regional level, and the party suffers when it comes to the branches where the election is taking place. And we, the elite within the diaspora, within Ghana, we need to be part of the polling station arrangement. All the executives, the learned NDC folks, 2024, we all need to go to the field. We should all be a polling agent with it so that whatever money that these guys are bringing into the system, we find a strategy around it. Whatever the security intimidation they are bringing, I believe the party will sit down and strategize.
You just nailed it. That is what I mean.
We know, yes, they have the security at their disposal. We know, yes, they have the money at their disposal. But I believe the new leadership will sit down and think through the boxes and see what we're going to do in 2024. Inshallah, 2024, Mansa Musa.
Inshallah.
NDC has to win power. Whatever it takes for us to make sure that the branch executives, the police station executives know what they are about. The election will be, the people will cast their votes. We will count, make sure the counting is right, and we want to bring the leadership that wherever the counting will go from point to point, we need to monitor it and make sure that this time we are not going to wait for any server to tell us that the server has crashed. The election data must be well secure.
Yes.
Court, we know what we are taking to court. Every nation shouldn't be every court. We want to win at the police station, Mansa Musa. The election must be won at the police station.
It must be won at the police station.
Okay.
You see, this 2020, you see, I don't know where you are. Don't tell people where you are. But whatever it is 2024, I know the party is forced to make sure that whatever it takes for the branch level to be resourced and the proper branch executives put in place, Musa, you see, we do it. So that those executives who are there will be loyal to the party. We shouldn't allow NPP to infiltrate into our branch executives within their villages. That's what they do. You see, so the party should sanitize all the branch executives. And anybody that we find out that is a mole within our system, we need to flush them out. That is our main task ahead of us for 2024.
Our main task.
So wherever you are, your ideas will be needed. When the time comes, some of us will get your number and get in touch. Don't worry.
Right.
Thank you so much for your submission. Musa, can you play about 5-10 more minutes of Pacific for us?
Okay.
Please.
Haircuts, the scam. The promise to build 88 district hospitals within a year was a scam. Agenda 111 project, a scam. The promise to abolish road tolls was a scam. The promise to convert toll booths into modern, ultra-modern public toilets on our highways was a scam. The claim that there was a global shortage of childhood vaccines was a scam. No state funds will finance the National Cathedral. Was a scam. Designed to fleece the state by the likes of Reverend Victor Kusibuatin or Kwabena Adujemfi, whichever sounds better to you. David Ajayi and Kerry Summers. Ladies and gentlemen, another deliberate falsehood peddled by the president in his infamous address was the claim that his government has constructed more NCA licensed fiber optic cables than any other government in the Fourth Republic. We submit that the total of 93% of fiber optic cables the president claimed credit for constitute the greatest telecom scam ever. At least, the MPP must give credit to the NDC for providing the 900-kilometer Eastern Corridor fiber optic network running from Ho to Boku with a link from Yendi to Tamale and an extension to the campus of the University of Health and Allied Sciences. The 300-kilometer Accra-Tema Metro fiber, the wireless broadband of 119 4G LTE base station to power the Gota phone system. And let me add, the Ministry of Communication, the National Data Center, the Accra Digital Center, and the National Communications Authority are all housed by NDC constructed edifices. When the president constantly
and I want listeners to listen carefully. Any government who takes fiber optic cable infrastructure seriously, that government shouldn't be taken for granted, because they know what fiber optic cable does for the economy in terms of communication within the system. Because with fiber optic cable, it makes things faster in terms of communication, people using the assets for business center, everything. This country, the United Kingdom, most of the communication infrastructures they are using a fiber optic. So you can make quick telephone call anywhere. This government, can they mention to Ghanaians, have they added anything to the fiber optic infrastructure in the country? Why are they refusing to tell Ghanaians what they've added in terms of the fiber optic infrastructure? Because they have not done anything, Musa. This is the problem we are facing as Ghanaians. And I want to challenge the communicators of NDC. 2024, what is ahead of us, it needs the communicators to sharpen their skills. They need the communicators to make sure that they have all what it takes to educate Ghanaians. Because NPP, when it comes to yada, good. Those guys, they can talk. Even things that is not true, they will say it is true. It is time NDC changed their modus operandi in terms of politicking. Because the media in Ghana, almost 60% of them are all bought, Mansa Musa. Mansa Musa, how many minutes have you got with Asirin Katesti, if I may ask?
Well, let's see. It's 57 minutes, and now we've done 27 minutes.
You've done 27 minutes?
Yes.
That's okay. It's getting to 10. So maybe play just 5 minutes, and we can do a conclusion. I don't know if he's still there.
Yeah, he is still here, but his microphone is not on here, but he's still here.
Okay, so I don't know if you can maybe 1 or 2, but can you play about 5-6 minutes? You can pause, getting to the end of it, then we can sum it up with conclusion, please, because it's getting to your closing time.
Okay.
Constantly shows such blatant dishonesty. It crashes the accountability mechanism. My brothers and sisters, let me now turn to another very important topic: corruption. President Akufo-Addo's silence on corruption in his infamous address was very loud. It was as loud as his guilt. Evidently, corruption has defeated his family and friends' government. Instead of confronting this canker head-on, President Akufo-Addo has constituted himself into a corruption clearing agent, ever willing to whitewash himself and any of his appointees who dabble in corruption, even before investigative processes commence. The president's action and complicity have emboldened many of his officials, not least his vice president, Alhaji Bawumia, whose name has come up in multiple corruption scandals, such as the PDS scandal, the shady gold for oil deal, the stolen rice scandal, and the famous appearance fee scandal. And brothers and sisters, President Akufo-Addo's misguided declaration that nothing dishonorable was done with the COVID funds adds to the litany of failed attempts to conceal the rot that has left many scandalized following the publication of the special audit report in COVID-19 funds by the Auditor General of Ghana. First, it was the Attorney General pretending to take umbrage to the publication of the report. Then comes the chief corruption clearing agent himself, even before the said report is considered by Parliament. How does President Akufo-Addo reasonably expect Ghanaians to accept as honorable the Auditor General's finding that COVID-19 related payments totaling more than 543 million Ghana cedis were made to various service providers
NFM Radio
of the Ghana Integrated Financial Management Information System in clear violation of Regulation 61 of the Public Financial Management Regulation 2019 LI 2378. How about the Auditor General's finding that medical equipment valued at nearly 250,000 United States dollars, which were procured with COVID funds and subsequently issued to some specific health facilities, did not reach these health facilities? How? Mr. President, I put it to you that there is everything dishonorable with the finding by the Auditor General that a company known as Modern Security Printers Limited, which was awarded a contract to conduct public education on COVID-19 safety protocols for students at an outrageous cost of 1.5 million Ghana cedis, has been paid in full for no work done. I further put it to you, Mr. President, that there is everything dishonorable with the damning finding by the Auditor General that cash payments totaling almost 12 million Ghana cedis to caterers who provided hot meals during the 3 weeks of partial lockdown were all retired with honor certificates instead of receipts, and that other COVID-19 related payments to caterers totaling 5.6 million Ghana cedis were neither backed by receipts nor honor certificates. Again, I put it to you, Mr. President, that the government management of COVID-19 funds cannot be said to be honorable when the Auditor General could not verify bills and validate dubious payments amounting to 37.6 million Ghana cedis by the Ministry of Finance to NGOs and private individual water provided for the provision of so-called free water. Also, it is dishonorable for officials of the Kwajo Opong Nkrumah-led Ministry of Information to line their pockets with COVID funds under the guise of risk allowances meant for frontline health workers. For funds during a public health crisis to have been looted and misappropriated in this bizarre manner. Brothers and sisters, despite the desperate attempt by the chief corruption clearing agent to sweep these serious crimes under the carpet, one thing which will tarry for ages to come is how the COVID-19 pandemic became a corruption bonanza and a milking cow for President Akufo-Addo and his officials to create
NFM Radio
resources in the most obscene manner. It should come as little surprise, therefore, that the President has become a clearing agent who actually rewards unscrupulous members of his government with national awards. Instead of the President sacking the serially incompetent Minister for Health, Kwaku Agyeman, he decided to confer national honors on the minister's corruption and included even more corrupt appointees and companies to desecrate the revered national
NFM Radio
award ceremony. Dr. Nkrumah established this national award scheme with the view to honoring people and institutions that have distinguished themselves in service and sacrifice to propel Ghana's growth and development. Mr. President, our nation's founder, Kwame Nkrumah, did not intend for the national award scheme to honor criminality by cleverly sprinkling and sandwiching a few meritorious awardees among nation wreckers. This year's awards and the inclusion of these shady characters, some of whom are under parliamentary inquiry, can at best be viewed as part of the systemic denigration of our statehood. And I'm happy that some decent awardees never participated in such a scheme. It also reveals the weakened and depraved state of our nation. A nation where those who scrutinize government dubious expenditures are chased out of office as auditor generals, the Domelevos of this world. A nation where journalists who unearth corruption are harassed, intimidated, and sometimes murdered, the Ahmed Swalis of this world. A nation where members of parliament who diligently carry out their constitutional mandate of oversight and expose crimes are persecuted. Samuel Okujeto, Ablakwas, and Atoforsons of this world. And a nation where those who fight corruption are fought back and are even described as terrorists by the courts. The Anas, Arimeyao Anas of this world. On this note, let me urge Ghanaians and the diplomatic community not to be intimidated by the president's unprecedented attack on the German ambassador during his message on the state of the nation in Parliament. We urge all true Democrats to join hands with the National Democratic Congress to resist the suppression of free speech by the Akufo-Addo-Bawumia MPP government. And brothers and sisters, another example of the corrupt schemes under this government is the Jansa energy deal, which is stifling the Ghana Gas Company and may end up collapsing this monumental NDC legacy project. Under this corrupt deal, the government has decided to allow persons known to be affiliated to the MPP to build a private gas plant so GMPC can sell natural gas from our oil fields to them at 1/3 the price at which they sell to Ghana Gas, which is state-owned. The whole idea is to cream off hundreds of millions of dollars in unreasonable and supernormal profit into the pockets of the greedy MPP cronies. As chairman of the NDC, I wish to serve notice that we will vigorously oppose this glaring theft of national resources for private gain. Ladies and gentlemen, the NDC believes institutions must work and the standards must even be higher for independent constitutional bodies that are legally clothed with independence to work independently. This is why we in NDC maintain that the Electoral Commission must abandon its intransigence and listen to wise counsel in order to save Ghana's democracy. Why would the EC insist on making the Ghana card the sole document for registration of voters when the National Identity Registration Law allows for the guarantor system as an identification mechanism? Why? In the interest of our democracy and development, a Mansa-led EC should for once agree with the opposition NDC, civil society organizations, and other well-meaning Ghanaians, including the Venerable Dr. Kwadwo Afarijan, Ghana's longest-serving former chairman of the Electoral Commission and foremost authority on electoral issues, who insists that the guarantor system must be maintained in our electoral system.
Can we wind up, Musa?
My brothers and sisters, another reason for Ghana's economic collapse is the expenditure on the bloated size of government. As has been revealed by our hard-working members of parliament, between January and September of 2022, the Akufo-Addo Bawumia presidency wasted the taxpayers' money as follows.
Right. So, 8 minutes to 10 o'clock, you have been listening to Mansa Musa with Mr. Kusiakwa, who personally sponsored this program to highlight or delve into the NDC's true State of Nations address as delivered by Asiedun Ketia. Kwesi, before we come in, I think there's another third fellow joining us. So if I welcome him, then
I'll give him opportunity to,
Yeah, I'll welcome him, then you can come in and ask him to continue. It's 7950, hello.
Hello, Mansa Musa, good evening.
Oh, Kwesi, Mr. Housen, yes, good evening. I had you there. NFM Radio.
Okay.
You see. All right.
Okay,
I'll play for him for this first time.
FM Radio.
This first time I'll play for him.
NFM Radio.
Emudaho clean.
Yeah, they were clean.
NFM Radio.
Emudaho.
Thank you. Now we can talk. Now we can talk.
Let me introduce Kwesi because this is Kwesi. This evening we've decided to play back Asiedun Ketia's Sona so that at least we give hope to our comrades in the diaspora. So, Honorable Kwesi, you are welcome. The platform is yours.
Thank you very much. I think the Sona, a lot has been said about it, and I believe every Ghanaian knows what is happening in the country. And nothing that was said by Chairman Asiedun Ketia can be, challenged. We see it, we feel it. It's not that anybody is conjuring anything from anywhere. The what you call the price of fuel, as compared to NDC's last administration, it's just mind-boggling. You cannot phantom it because the money, the amount you used to buy a gallon of fuel, let's say petrol or diesel during Mahamet's time, that money can only buy a liter under Akufo-Addo now, as we speak. Meanwhile, this man made all the noise in the world. The petrol may buy the testo. What testo no? Now, Akufo-Addo is such a liar. I will say it with no apology. That as an elderly person, as we grow, when we are kids, you do what kids do. But when you are growing, you become an old person. You do what elderly people do. And one of them is be honest, truthful with the people that you lead. Even if it's a family, you tell them the truth. You let them know the situation, the actual situation, so they can also adjust themselves to accommodate whatever as a leader of a family or as a leader of the country will come up with. But this man is always giving falsehood. He's lying, he's deceiving the people, giving falsehoods. Elsewhere, this man will not last, one more minute in office. He's just a complete waste. He's completely, a waste of time of Ghanaians. He has just actually destroyed 6 years of our time. Look at the contradictory kind of behavior of this man. His last, not this one, the one before this one, the Sona, he told Ghanaians and the world that he had constructed most roads in the history of Ghana. That is from independence up until last year when he was given that SONA. This year's one, he says he's constructed most roads in this country under the Fourth Republic. So which one should we go with? He's always flip-flopping. And sometimes I believe he tells a lie, and then when he's about to tell another lie, maybe something clicks in his mind. And he has to just say something. You see, look at the man carefully. When he has to come and speak to the state, the nation, look at his body language. It's like, oh, let me go and tell them something, and then it's constitutional. I mean, what I have to do is constitutional. I can't run away from it. But the situation is bad. But then let me go and just tell them something so that I can go. Let me go and occupy that 2 hours that the Constitution asks me to do, and then just get away. That is his body language. The man is not serious. He's a crook. If you pardon me, sorry, he's a crook who doesn't tell truth to his people. Now, let me quickly come to the NDC, our MPs, what they did in Parliament yesterday. On that, oh, thank you very much. Okay, then, no problem. Thank you for the small time. I mean, this thing you gave me. Thank you very much. No problem.
Just finish your contribution. Then with on the SONA. Next week is a full attack on what has happened yesterday.
Thank you very much. Yes, and so like I said, in wrapping up, the SONA, that is the true state of the nation. I mean, the one the NDC gave. There's nothing you can challenge. You see, the MPP said immediately NDC finished on that day. They said they were going to, well, they said Tuesday. So let's wait for Tuesday and see what they are going to come up with. Mm. Even if they are even bold to come out with anything, it will be full of lies, deception, and contradictions. Mark it on the wall. Mm. Thank you very much.
Kwesi, thank you.
Thank you so much, Kwesi. Yeah. Thank you for your contribution, Kwesi.
Thank you.
Right. Let me see if this man is still there. Let's go to him. Then, whilst I wait for the guy from America to phone in, then Kwesi will come and wrap up. Yusuf. Hello, Yusuf.
Yes, I'm there.
I know you are there. So, finish, your side, finish it for me, and let's move on.
Okay. Yeah, once again, I would like to thank everybody for your contribution, and I want to say well done again to Honorable Chairman Asidun Kachia and his team for the exposure that he has, highlighted to all Ghanaians. I believe the fire is burning the current MPP government by now due to these powerful exposures. And about the status quo or on the state of the nation. Someone is calling?
No, go ahead. You go ahead.
Okay. All these exposures, should be used in the 2024 political campaign. Materials, brochures, and billboards. All the points.
Ken, stay there. I will come. I'll put you online on the air very soon. Stay there.
They are very, very vital for the campaign materials. So let the NDC party and the executives come up with a powerful campaign manifesto, be it accountability, development, or anti-corruption for the 2024, because this government has shown that they are corrupt and they have not been accountable to Ghanaians. So we need a powerful manifesto on accountability, development, and anti-corruption And finally, I would like
that is a powerful three-line sort of message, a three-line what do we call a whip? I can put it. It's a very powerful one. It's a one and development. What?
It's accountability, development, and anti-corruption.
Anti-corruption. Very powerful. Really, it's really good. Yeah. All right.
Yes.
Go ahead.
Yes. In line to all these exposures, they have failed, and there hasn't been accountability, lack of development, there has been corruption, So NDC is coming in to do all these things. And finally, I would like to retreat on what we touched on earlier on, which is regarding the elections and how we have to. I believe our comrade also highlighted that, on the constituency, on the regions and the constituencies, on the electoral areas, what should be done, to prevent people from being trapped in all these, rigging and corruption of, all these voting scandals. Yeah. So, that's all I can say for now. And I would like to thank all of you. I think 2024 is, it has to be a tit for tat. We cannot just stand in and say we are going in for this election and hoping that there will be a free and fair election. These people, they know they have failed, and all what they are counting on now is to have an election that will not be free and fair. And all what they will be telling you is go to court. We are not prepared for that. We are not going to court. The elections has to be declared at the polling stations. We have to look well into our electoral system again and see where all the loopholes are and try to close them before it is too late. Thank you very much, comrades.
Thank you, Yusuf. In some way, they say you don't know where he is. Okay, let me go to stateside, to America, to welcome this gentleman. What is it? Where can I find it? Okay.
I'm here.
Ken from US of A. Good evening. Welcome to the program.
Mansa Musa, thank you very much. And the NFM Radio, dear Emuda Hocklin. Very.
Okay, so you greet and you take the response as well.
That's right.
If you who teach you that? That an African, you greet. When you shout the greeting, then you take the response. You got to let somebody respond. Okay, let's go again then.
Okay, NFM Radio.
Clear.
Yeah, that's it.
Nice one. Okay, now let's go.
Mansa Musa, thanks for nice show as usual, and doing a great job. But hey, I'd like to put it out there that I'm a die-hard NDC supporter or sympathizer, but I'm really disappointed about what is going on amongst our party leadership and our parliamentarian. Mansa Musa, this is my point. I believe there was a mistake made by the party leadership, current leadership, from the General Secretary side, Mr. Fifi Kwete, and I think our chairman is doing excellent. I don't have anything against our chairman. Where I have issue with Fifi Kwete is that, indeed, you want our MPs to toe a certain line, but you do not issue that PR, that decree, that you are authorizing them. It's like machoism. You want them to do a certain thing. You could do it, in the back office, behind closed doors. You talk to your people, and then you all strategize and know what to do. But when you put that fear in the public domain, that this is what you want them to do, then it's like, you're saying these are people who don't have a mind of their own. And also you make it like this is a fight between the party and the government. But that is not what we want Ghanaians to see, that NDC wants to do. Okay? you could give the MPs the opportunities to go out there when they are having their talk shows and interviews. They could say their stance. They already know the position of the party. It is not in the public domain. Right now, the fact that they voted against the party position, it means they have rebuked the party leadership. Is that the right thing? And then what information did you send to the rank and files, the foot soldiers? They thought you are going to, go a certain way. And now it looks like your members are still disgruntled and they voted against that. But as human beings, they have the right to revolt, to tell you that no, that's not how it goes. Don't put us out there as though you are the one commanding us to take a certain line. And I thought that was wrong. Okay? Now, there is also this school of thought. Let me tell you, from Tuesday, I heard this rumor on another radio show that I was listening to in Ghana, Ekosi saying, and this MPP former party chairman for New Job in North, this guy, Chairman Kwejo Boateng, they called him, he came out with the speculation that he has heard that they've compromised in Parliament on the CI, that the NDC has a position, they want some amendments in the CI. And for that reason, they are also going to vote for these ministers.
Ken, tonight, yes. Basically, you see, what I want us to discuss is the SONA. Honestly speaking, I'm taking even an umbrage, the line you are going now, trying to imply that your general secretary, because, well, he blurted out what he wants the parliamentarians to do, of which me myself, I wrote about it, I shouldn't have been. But that doesn't excuse what has happened. What has happened is not just a simple betrayal. These are dissidents. They're got to be dealt with. Yes. So I will beg you, let's leave that one and talk on the SONA, please. Let's leave that one.
Let me just put that on the side, because it's my way of also expressing my frustration, but I get you. Mansa Musa, I thought our chairman itemized all the shortcomings of the government, things that they could do to alleviate the country from the quagmire in which we find ourselves. Unfortunately, they are not doing that. But I thought right now, our party should start strategizing. When I hear people say elections are won at a polling station, I don't think it is a factual statement, because the processes leading to election is what determines the outcome at a polling station. Right now, there are machinations going on. I thought our party should also start their own strategy. I believe they are doing that already. But if they are not, this is the time they should sit up and start putting the house in order. We need all the party, the MPs, the party leadership, rank and file. We should all come together. There shouldn't be any divisions that our adversaries will use against us, and then rather divide us more. We should forget the approval of these ministers, that it has happened. And it happened for a reason. We should let it go and strategize. What is the way forward? The CI is there. There are court judges that have to be approved. And also this tax measure, approval on the government tax measure that they are bringing to Parliament. What are we doing about it? Do we want to support that also? To have the government increase taxes on Ghanaians, because they believe that that is the prerequisite of the IMF.
Sorry, I took the US call on the wrong phone, so that's why you were cancelled out. So now you are on this number now. Sorry about that.
Oh, okay. I was going on the whole time. Okay.
No, I'm not talking to you. I'm talking to someone else. Kwesi, did you hear me?
Oh, okay. So can I go on?
Hang on a second. Kwesi? Hello, Kwesi? Mr. Kwesi Akwa? This thing is still on, so what's happening? Hello, Kwesi?
Okay. That's okay. That's okay.
Hello, Kwesi. Okay, let's try again. Please go ahead whilst I'm trying to get Kwesi.
Okay.
Ken, go ahead. Go ahead.
What I was saying is
I'm
that
back now, Mansa Musa.
we need to put our house in
Yeah, I'm
order.
back now.
We need to be strategizing better and bring and give motivations to our party soldiers, the rank and file, everybody to come together so that we know that we are, going the right course. Because I believe JDM is the best thing that can happen to Ghana. He is going to be the best person to take this country from this, economic abyss that the country finds itself in. Stuff that are going on in the country right now, we need somebody who has a vision. We don't have to always go by the status quo. Unless we go out there to borrow money, then we cannot do anything. We need somebody who can think outside the box. We need somebody who can give hope to the people again. And I believe JDM is the best person, okay, who can do that. Because these people came to power, what they have done so far is to increase taxes on the poor masses, okay, over and over. And nothing is working right in the country. So we don't need anybody to come and create division among ourselves. We know Ghanaians want a certain government to come in to alleviate this poverty-stricken situation that we find ourselves in. And it is only JDM and the NDC who could do that. We believe so strongly that they have shown that example in the past. They have put up projects, developmental projects, that really put the country on a strong footing, that has brought us this far. So when we go back to them, they can do better. And I believe there is no other party in Ghana who could really take Ghana out of the situation we find ourselves in. We have so many developmental projects that were initiated by the NDC. There have been times that things are very difficult, but NDC did not break the treasury. They kept our treasury so strong that they could pass it on to this current government. What have they done? We've been completely messed up. Everything is in disarray. Right now, Ghana could not go out there and boast and say that this is what they want from our foreign counterparts. We have no respect. We've lost all our respect and dignity, because after all, if you are Ghanaian today, you don't have a birth certificate that could tell you are Ghanaian. You don't have a passport that could tell that you are a Ghanaian, unless you have the so-called Ghana card, okay? And a Ghana card that is only acceptable in Ghana, not internationally. And we frown on our Ghana passport in support of the Ghana card. What sense does that make? We need a government that can come and make sure Ghana, we get our mojo again. Ghanaians, we get our mojo again. What is going on right now is so disheartening, depressing. A lot of Ghanaians have grown into poverty. Not that they wish to be in poverty, but the system compels them to do that. And what is the government doing? Nothing they're doing about that. Okay? So for me, I believe we could do better as a party. Okay, Mr. Musa, and that's my take.
Listen, good call. Good call. Monday evening, believe me, it is all about the betrayal of the century. We'll discuss that one. So Monday evening, if and when you have time, if it's convenient for you, I will give you all the time to, discuss that one. So thank you very much all the way from United States. Thank you.
I'll be listening in. Okay, thank you.
Right, Kwesi?
Yeah, Mansa Musa, thank you so much. I think we will conclude the program now. If you give me permission, maybe a minute or two, can I conclude, please? Is that okay with you?
Yeah, let me swap this, what do we call it? Let me swap this. They call it the microphone thingy. Then, this is better. Okay, so yeah, we can, let me see, where is it? Okay, yeah. So you can start with your concluding message, Kwesi.
Good. Thank you so much, listeners. Today we decided to give hope to Ghanaians and the NDC comrades. And like we did this evening, we managed to get the sonar out there for those in the diaspora who have not listened to General Secretary our chairman now to listen. Now, in conclusion, Ghanaians, comrades, there are a few things I believe, we all believe that the situation John Dramani Mahama will come and meet is dire, but with God in control, things will be done. Now, the issue of the corruption by these current appointees, I think JDM have to look at it carefully. Even the banking sector, as we are now, JDM, when you come back, we want to play with you, going to look at it. Again, the issue of some dual carriage roads within the system, though it's going to be difficult because the colossal amount of money these people have borrowed is quite huge. We want to also say that the issue of the primary health care for Ghanaians is something which was in the Jobs and the Prosperity for All manifesto. We need to look at it. Jobs for the youth is also an area we have to look at it. Musa, I know you believe in infrastructure. I think JDM has done it before. And when he comes back, he needs to invest in the infrastructure and make sure whatever this president and the NPP has failed to do, he will do it differently. Musa, there's also another thing we need to look at, the issue of the birth certificate. I think the other comrade mentioned it. NPP cancelled birth certificate. Officially, we need to make sure birth certificate is brought back where it belongs. The privatization of the Kotoka International Airport, if these guys have done it, it must be reversed, Musa. There's something we need to do. The insecurity, the impunity, the lawlessness in the country, we need to make sure we sort it out. Musa, Domelevo, whatever that gentleman is, NDC should make sure Domelevo is brought back. The integrity within the electoral system, the national security, and the judiciary system, the party, the JDM have to make sure something should be done about that one. All the hospitals, all the E-blocks that MPP and Nana Akufo-Addo has refused to get it done, I believe JDM will make sure that thing is sorted. And finally, Musa, you see, education is close to my heart. Our youth, where they are going with their education is very important, Musa. The issue of the technical and the vocational education, we need to have a look at our structure in terms of education, what we are doing for our youth. And JDM should manage and complete all the abandoned E-blocks. I know with the E-blocks, it's something that you want to make sure he will do. And again, the size of ministers in office, he needs to make sure that whatever you want to do, you do it. And finally, the 1992 Constitution, something must be done. So tonight, we'd like to thank Chairman Asirin Katia for us listening to him. I want to thank the Ghanaians, and we want to thank NFM Radio. Or say NFM Radio. Emudaho, Musa.
You.
On behalf, I would like to thank you yourself for your time you spent on this program. And again, I would like to thank the management for giving me the opportunity to allow Ghanaians to listen to your program tonight. Thank you, and God bless you, Mansa Musa.
Our strength in unity. Victory! NFM Radio. It's our land. Victory! It's our land. It's a winner.
NFM Radio. Jumedi Mansa Musa Edebro. Etwa da kopemenda. Emre no song. Listen to Fire Will Burn You on NFM Radio with Mansa Musa Monday to Saturday 7 p.m. to 10 p.m.
of the drop of the land. When and secure future.
NFM Radio.
Development, our goal of the NDC shall lead stable democracy.
NFM Radio.
Our strength unity.
Listen to Fire Will Burn You on NFM Radio with Mansa Monday to Saturday, 7 p.m. to 10 p.m. Minia, see Fire Will Burn You on NFM Radio. Junadia Mansa and Debro, and China Papa Melinda, and Renon Song, NFM Radio. NFM Radio. NFM Radio. NFM Radio.
Right, so this is where we bring the curtains down. Thank you, everybody. Thanks my production team and the rest of everyone. Thanks to Mr. Kwesiakwa and his group for bringing this program about. They specifically sponsored this program to highlight the NDCs through sonar as delivered by Selim Ketia. I tell you again that next week, Monday, we will begin to do the scrutiny, the analysis, the soul searching about why the NDC MPs, 30 of them or so, decided to defy the party. We will discuss it come next week, Monday. So don't miss it at all. Don't miss out. This is NFM Radio. So as the song depicts, this is a song by Mr. Pembroke, also Emi Mewe Magruzi. That means I'm done. I'm done with my play, with my part. Thank you all for listening. The rest of the weekend, have a cheerful one. Have a very pleasant weekend. Goodbye for now. Cheers. Bye-bye.
NFM Radio. NFM Radio. NFM Radio. NFM Radio. NFM Radio. Listen to Fire Will Burn You on NFM Radio with Mansa Musa, Monday to Saturday, 7 p.m. to 10 p.m. Minia, see Fire Will Burn You on NFM Radio. Jumedia Mansa Musa Edebro, and Chuada Copem Memneda, and Renon Song, a Copem Lone Do. Listen to Fire Will Burn You on NFM Radio with Mansa Musa, Monday to Saturday, 7 p.m. to 10 p.m. Minia, see Fire Will Burn You on NFM Radio. Jumedia Mansa Musa Edebro, and Chuada Copem Memneda, and Renon Song, a Copem Lone Do. Listen to Fire Will Burn You on NFM Radio with Mansa Musa, Monday to Saturday, 7 p.m. to 10 p.m. Minia, see Fire Will Burn You on NFM Radio. Jumedia Mansa Musa Edebro, and Chuada Copem Memneda, and Renon Song, a Copem Lone Do. NFM Radio, Emudaho. NFM Radio, Emudaho. NFM Radio, Emudaho. Listen to Fire Will Burn You on NFM Radio with Mansa Musa, Monday to Saturday, 7 p.m. to 10 p.m.
Sugar daddy, yeah, dilly dally, yeah. Puff, puff, pass, my Mary Jane. I'm high on life, wanna meditate. So allow me. finish, oh, eh. I just wanna party every day. I just wanna party every day. So pass me the Dutchie. Pretty girl, come wine pon the cocky. 10 toes, one girl, make it touch it, touch it, touch it, touch it, touch it, touch it. Pass me the Dutchie. Pretty girl, come wine pon the cocky. 10 toes, one girl, make it touch it, touch it, touch it, touch it, touch it, touch it, touch it. Shut up and bend over. Aye. Let your back do the talking over. So back up and bend over. Let your back do the talking over. Say, I want to talk my life. I want to be happy. I want to dance and party. Do the rhythm of my body. I just wanna party every day. I just wanna party every day. So pass me the Dutchie. Pretty girl, come wine pon the cocky. 10 toes, one girl, make it touch it, touch it, touch it, touch it, touch it, touch it. Pass me the Dutchie. Pretty girl, come wine pon the cocky. 10 toes, one girl, make it touch it, touch it, touch it, touch it, touch it, touch it, touch it. Puff, puff, pass. My Mary Jane. I'm high on life, wanna meditate. So allow me, make I enjoy life. Cause problem not the finish, oh, eh. Every day different wahala. Problem not the finish, oh. Pass me the Dutchie. Pretty girl, come wine pon the cocky. 10 toes, one girl, make it touch it, touch it, touch it, touch it, touch it, touch it. Pass me the Dutchie. Pretty girl, come wine pon the cocky. 10 toes, one girl, make it touch it, touch it, touch it, touch it, touch it, touch it, touch it. Puff, puff, pass. Oh, Lord of mercy. What do me do to you, in my brother? Oh, baby girl, you know you got the juice, you got the fire. Cause one man's meat is another man's poison. To all the people who do me wrong, oh, they led me straight to you. Me that's it. I wonder if you think say I go leave you.
Main agents of instability in the so-called Middle East are Europe and its overgrown colony in North America. Since the Crusades, people there have every reason to be sick of the sight of us. Britain and France built instability into the region when Sykes-Picot drew its borders. It was Britain that planted the seeds of Israel's apartheid regime in Palestine, divide and rule just as it did in Ireland, and the West never had any qualms about backing dictators as long as they protected our interests. So how did overthrowing Massa promote stability? Was the Iran-Iraq war good for security? Did backing the Mujahideen cover us in glory? Every so